becomes more and more important. And that's for every guy here. We got to do it better. Our goal is to have the kind of team that nobody wants to play. And that means that we have to impose our will to dominate the competition all the time. It's all about what does it take to break you.
Welcome to Niggas Having Junior Sports Talk TV. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we back with another post-game show after a crazy week 3, good week of college football, I say. Good week of college football. Billy Napier, is he fired or is he not? Don't know. Remain to be seen. Alabama, we go down to Camp Randall and we dominate. I can't say we dominate. Georgia, you win by hair. You lucky dog, you. You lucky dog, you. But I don't think there's no need to panic for Georgia. FSU, you suck. Did I say FSU suck? So if I didn't, I'm going to say it again. FSU, you suck. Man, after last night, we're going to talk about this first. Billy Napier. What are y'all thoughts on Billy Napier? Because we are seeing reports that the boosters done got enough money up to get rid of this dude. And like you said, Van, earlier, I'm expecting to hear like a press conference tomorrow sometime about getting rid of Billy Napier before the season. I was saying like the 4th game. I don't know if he's going to make it to the 4th game at this point.
Man, I'll be honest with you. I was surprised he got another year. And I know that's crazy to say, but when you look at his predecessors, McElwain, the other guys that had came before him, some of them guys have made it to SEC championships, and they didn't get 4 full years. And Billy ain't going to get it either. And I'll be real surprised if I don't see an ESPN update on my phone tomorrow announcing a press conference, because I can tell you right now, the boosters done had the money last year. If the AD would have just asked them, they would have never made it to this season with the same coach. I hate to just pile on a man when he's down. I don't like seeing people lose their jobs. And it's not that I'm a Florida fan, but it's football at the end of the day. It's about the young guys out on the field and people trying to coach them. But you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody that can show you where Florida has progressed from one year to the next. In fact, you could say the opposite. You could say they've degressed. So he got to go, man.
Yeah. Razo?
I mean, personally, I'm with you guys, man. I'll be honest with you, I was thinking some news was going to break today. I don't even wait until Monday. But regardless if it breaks today or tomorrow or whenever, something is going to have to be done. I mean, Florida is too good of a university, to be in the position that they are now. And it, like you said, it seems like they're going in reverse instead of, forward. And this is they're going to have to do something, because the few recruits that you do have, man, you got to hold on to them. So, those guys need to see like, hey, man, all right, we're making strides in the right direction to counter what's going on. And unfortunately for Billy Napier, I'm like you, Van. I don't like to see anyone lose their job, but at the same time, this is business. Football is big business. Football brings in a lot of money to the university, and Florida is no slouch, man. You got to realize they have history, so they have something to hang their hats on, and they don't want to just go down as being a has-been or a flash in the pan. So they're gonna make it. They're gonna make a move. I don't know when, but they're gonna make one, and I feel it is necessary. So,
yeah, like I said, Florida got too much tradition. You are a big time school far as tradition wise. The expectations that they have in Florida is expectations that are expected to be met, and rightfully so. You got to think about way back in the Steve Spurrier days. You know what I'm saying? They had a run. They had a run for a while, and for to see Florida the way they are right now, it is like, it's not college football. It's not college football. This is not the Florida Gators that we all know. This is not the Florida Gators that when we speak of the Florida Gators that we speak of, this is not them. But unfortunately for Sunbelt Billy, Lane Kiffin may have to come sing today. Lane Kiffin may have to come sing today. And while we on this topic, Bama, we're gonna get to Bama. That's the next topic. But that game yesterday, my man Mike, Mike Elko, he ran that ball down their throat, and they could not do nothing with it. Emmitt Smith's son was on the other side on Texas A&M, running against his daddy old schools, and they were just doing it bad. They had one drive, I think it was going into half there. They had the ball for so daggone long, man. And that's what I like. When you can run the ball and you don't go away from the run, you stick to it. You stick to your big boys, and you lean on your big boys to get you upfield, and they did that. That one, I forgot how long they had that ball, that drive, but they had it for a long freaking time, man.
Right. That's crazy, but hey, listen, one thing I can say about the coach, Texas A&M coach yesterday, he saw what was working and he stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just switch up the game.
Yeah.
He stuck with it, and that was their bread and butter. And if it ain't broke, why fix it? So
yeah,
I was like, I like that, in the past couple of years, we've seen people have something working, and then they jump away from it and try something else or whatever the case, and mess up the rhythm. So,
when you come out of the tunnel at Florida and they play that Tom Petty's Running Down a Dream, and then the lightning delays the game later on, and if I had been the athletic director, that lightning break, I probably would have came out with a new coach then, not even said nothing, because it was already pretty obvious that Texas A&M was physically dominating them in the trenches, and when you could do that early, it's a long game for you. There's some things you just can't go to halftime and adjust, and when you're getting mashed up on the line like that, it just ain't a whole lot you can do. And man, because there's a lot of pressure. I think he's like an interior president, like he stepped in for the president right now. So there's a lot of pressure on that man. He wants that job. Right. And if he don't make a decisive action, he may not get that full-time job either. So, I hate it for Bayou Billy, but the show's over, buddy. Maybe time to go coach some wide receivers somewhere or something. And that still pays good, and it counts your blessings. You made some money. Probably got a good family. There's more things in life than just football, but you probably going to get your ass out of Gainesville, because they ain't going to keep doing this. In Florida, them Gainesville folks are different. They're different folks, now I'm telling you.
So Van, you telling me you'd have did like the Fresh Prince? You would have went from a dark skin to a light skin and Bill? Would
have been like Family Matters. Would have been like Family Matters. Urkel walk in with the glasses, come back out, and he's smooth. You know what I'm saying? He'd come out with somebody else in the second half. You got to go, buddy. Go ahead and get a jump start on the traffic.
That boy came out one episode. This is for the cuckoo. The cool. I was like, what the world?
I wanted to say something.
Man that's hurting in the baby
face. He went in the halftime Billy, but he came out Bill.
Trying to dress him the same.
Yeah. But
I want to say something real quick to the comment section. Shares a lot was talking about, don't forget about Florida State. Oh, trust me, we hadn't. We'll talk about Florida State too.
Hey, we're going to get to that. I got one more thing to say about this Florida thing, and y'all got say some more on it if y'all got some more. Billy, you should have stuck with the kid DJ. Like, you should have kept him in there, let him get some type of rhythm. Because I said it last week, if you're going to go out with a bang. Go out with a bang, man. And that two quarterback system, that works in very, it works very rarely. Like, you see it, that work, because you got to get a rhythm. These guys got to get rhythms, and you're not getting a rhythm when you just flip-flop them. I would have went with DJ, and I would have lost. If I'm going to go out, that's the way I'm going out, goddamn. I'm going out with a 5-star kid that I recruited, had I recruited, that's just me. I would have went with DJ Laneway the whole way, and he would have learned a lot that game, or he would have been a hero. He would have learned a lot and became a hero, or he would have learned a lot and fell out by the wayside. I don't know, but either way, Billy, you finna be gone. So,
yeah.
Hey man, did you hear KB? You was talking about the DJ. He said, "Man, in Florida, the DJ just ain't getting it." He said, "DJ ukulele, DJ Lagway, DJ Khaled."
Not DJ Khaled too. Just
Like, no DJ say the Florida school right now.
No DJ. But if y'all got anything else about the Florida situation?
It's hard to say too much more because they hadn't done enough to talk about them, and I mean that's just the truth of it. But I will say this: Lagway, the team does seem to come together with him more than they did Hurts. We said that last week. We were talking about it. I would have played him. I would have rode with it, you know. But my last point on this, I think I would have had the same answer if I was by you, Billy, that Coach O had at LSU when they told him he's going to have to leave. $26 million buyout, which door you want me to go out of? I ain't crying.
I might dig a tunnel to get out. I don't care.
Hey man.
But before we get on this Alabama topic, man, I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in and chat. Got Van up there, Van on the show, Just Stapleton, Icebox, President Chip, appreciate you, shed a light. What's going on? Linda P, Bobby Sprinkle, and that's all I see so far. Lorenzo, my guy, what's up? What's up? Yeah, that's all I see. Dexter Wright, what's happening? What's happening? And I appreciate all y'all for tuning in, but let's talk about football. Let's talk about football. I said we went up to Camp Randall and we handle business. Of course, we all got our picky things, our picks or whatever about Alabama. But the overall mission was to go up there, win the game. And honestly, when you look at the score, we won it in goddamn a dominant fashion. I will say that I wasn't happy about Tyler Van Dyke getting hurt for a simple reason. That still leaves me you don't get your best quarterback. The backups are not the best guys to come in, so it's kind of like we finna really run away with this thing at one point. But we still seeing a lot of stuff from the defense that we would like to correct. We're seeing stuff on the offensive side of the ball that we would like to correct. But then that's me watching it as a fanboy at the time. I'm very critical of every freaking thing. Then when I started taking my step back, doing my little watch backs, I started asking myself, what were you expecting to see? I was expecting the penalties to be cleaned up. We only had 4 penalties. Check. Mm-hmm. Offensive line play came together. Check. I could say killing the boar is using Jalen Milroe to his strength. Check. Them the kind of things I was looking for. On the defensive side, I still see wide receivers getting behind the DBs a little bit. The interior defensive line, I want to see them get a little bit better. I will say that I kind of noticed that we had a lot of guys that defend the pass well in the interior. We got to get our big Jaheim Otis, our run stoppers in, like Jaheim Otis's, get more Tim Keenan play in there, like people that can disrupt the run, especially leading up to Georgia, because that's what Georgia is going. They're going. I don't care how they look running the ball yesterday. They ain't going away from the run. They're going to run the ball. So we got to get our big guys that are good run stoppers, that in the interior that's going to run stop. And overall, when I just dial it back, it's a lot of stuff I would want to see. But overall, I'm happy with what I seen because I'm still seeing progress. I realize when you play these teams, it's not a dang on video game. We ain't going to score every time. We ain't going to stop them every time. But god dang it, sometimes I do feel like, can we give a little bit more effort?
Right.
But at the same time, you playing a team that's trying to stop you from doing what you're trying to do at the same time. So it ain't like they're not giving effort. But overall, man, you start seeing in the heading into the third quarter, you start seeing them trying to throw the ball a little more. That little post corner route that Jeremy Bernard, Jalen Milroe hit Bernard going into half. That was a nice route and that was a nice throw. That was a nice route and nice throw. When he hit the tight end from Washington, down the seam or whatever, down the field, that was a nice throw. I seen the play where he was looking at this one wide receiver going this way, and if the safety did whatever, he made the right throw. So that stuff is the stuff I'm seeing. But overall, I got some offensive stuff that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the standout players: Jalen Milroe, Jam Miller, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, and the entire offensive line. I was impressed. I was very happy with the entire offensive line yesterday. Complete 180 from the offensive line was Proctor and Pritchard back in the fall. Great job from start to finish. Miro is playing his game, and I'm very glad to see it. The real test comes in 2 weeks, but he looks much more comfortable under the Killing the Board offense. As expected, as everyone was to see Justice Hayes this year, Jam Miller never ceased to amaze me. We have an incredible 1-2 punch in the backfield for sure, and Miro's rushing ability should open a lot up for them. Let's talk about the offense, man. What's your thought? Van, we're going to start with you. What was your thoughts about the offense, man?
I'm glad you led off with me because not everybody gets to know the behind-the-scenes stuff that we all linked up messaging throughout college football games, and probably a good thing they don't get to read them all because I say some out-of-pocket shit sometimes. But you know, I wanted to go first and not last because I think Rise Up's gonna take off on this a lot better than me. But I still see growth in Alabama. I get frustrated. Hey, I think we're all allowed to be frustrated as fans. We want to see our team do the best. I hadn't seen any team in college football play perfect yet. But offensively, the O-line looked a lot better. A lot less holding penalties. Milroe had a cleaner pocket. We were able to run the ball more consistently, get more effort into the second level because they were taking care of the front seven. The receivers, I mean, what can you say? We almost need 3 quarterbacks throwing the ball. We got so much talent because you can't feed everybody at once. You know, there's so much talent in that receiving room. It's crazy. Ryan Williams continues to, you know, impress everybody in college football. I don't care who you're a fan of. At 17-year-old, I couldn't imagine playing football, college football at that level. The run game, I think somebody said it here earlier. Jam Miller's kind of distanced himself a little bit and kind of started looking more like the lead back. You know, at first it looked like we were going to get a lot of shared carries, and we're still seeing a lot of Justice Haynes if he's playing well. But Jam Miller's intensity, he runs like a linebacker tackles. Like he's very strong. He has his mind made up where he's going. He makes one jump cut, he's gone. He hits his gears fast, and he's very fun to watch, man. He's an old school type of back. I love those guys. And Jalen Milroe, I'll end it on Jalen Milroe. Sometimes I don't necessarily like the play calling. That's me being a quarterback coach on the couch watching the game, not knowing how to coach the quarterback. That's just me being highly critical. But the truth of the matter is, we pointed out some plays last week where Milroe stepped up in the pocket, made the best of situations, and I seen more of it yesterday. The play you talked about to Jeremy Bernard was a fantastic pass. The one to Ryan Williams for the touchdown early, you know, Williams split the safety. Milroe caught him in stride over the shoulder. Perfect timing. He didn't have to slow down to catch it. It was a money ball. That kind of stuff right there gives you hope. We're seeing more and more of it each week. Now, don't get me wrong. Georgia ain't Wisconsin. They ain't South Florida, and they ain't Western Kentucky. I know some Georgia fans are hitting the panic button, but we know how good Georgia is. They're debatably the best team in college football. And they're talented. They're well coached. And they're not going to give you the deep ball every play like some of these other teams have. So it would have been nice to see us work a lot of more underneath concepts. But overall, we're taking what we're given, and that's what you're supposed to do. Milroe's taking advantage of opportunities that are presented to him. because we'd all be dogging him out if he wasn't hitting that deep ball and it was wide open. So you can't get mad at the man for taking advantage of what's there.
And I will say, like you said, we want to see more of them. And there was times where I seen him hit a Justice Hayes underneath, or whoever was out to the flats that one time, like him making those throws. And people underappreciate those throws because
yes,
you gotta put it in a place where they can catch it and keep going. Last year he would have made those throws, and he would probably, if he would have completed it, it would have been in a way where they don't get yards out of the catch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he has improved on those a little bit more. And us as fans, we want to see it being worked a little bit more. But I do see him making those progressions. I do see him making those progressions. Rise up.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys on Milroe the line. My only thing is I want to see a little bit more of variety. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. And play calling, because we can't just be Milroe run and deep ball down. We got to open it up. And
Sure.
A lot of times we say, and like I tell you guys behind the scenes, I think we was texting, we were like, well, we're gonna open up a playbook come Georgia, we're gonna open up a playbook come yada yada yada, whichever team. We saving it for Georgia, or we saving it for Texas, or we saving it for the premier team. But my thing is why are we saving it for them? Because in 2 weeks, just follow me where I'm going with this. In 2 weeks, we play Georgia. And let's say we open up the playbook. The playbook is open. We still got to play Tennessee. We still got to play whoever we got to play. So the playbook is open, right? My thing is practice on that playbook in the games, especially in the games where we know we can supposedly dominate. It's lesser. It's an inferior opponent or lesser. And because in practice, practice is practice. Milroe, or Ty Simpson or Lonergan, they're not getting hit in practice. They're not going to get hit in practice. They get touched, but they're not going to get hit. So the clock is not the same clock as in real-time play. The thought process is not the thought process in real-time play. In practice, you want to get it off. You want to get the ball off before you get touched or whatever. But in a game, somebody trying to take your head off. Somebody trying to take you out of the game. So my thing is, I think it would be better playing it from the jump. Like, I'm gonna skip to Tennessee for a minute. Them guys, they're playing. They got to play us, and they laying everything on the line for us to see right now. We see what's coming. We don't play Texas this year, but Texas is playing. They're laying everything on the line to see what it is.
I don't think he listened.
Oh, Rude Boy, listen.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of fans say. You're saving it for whoever. But Texas is playing, they playing their game. They're playing their game. Tennessee's playing their game. Ole Miss is playing their game. They're not holding back. They're beating the lesser teams, the inferior opponents, like they should. They're beating them the way they should. Are we impressed? It's whoever. It's Central Tennessee or Tennessee Tech or whoever, the team may be. But they're beating those guys for real. They you know what I'm saying? And they're not worried about Georgia coming up on the schedule or Texas coming up on the schedule or Ole Miss coming up on the schedule. They're getting their kinks out of the way right now on the field in real-time play. And when they get to those games, when they get to Texas or when they get to Georgia or when they get to Ole Miss or whoever that team is on their schedule, they're kind of in sync with it, And that's just my humble opinion. I'm like Van. I'm a couch coach. I'm just a couch coach. I don't know. I can't go out in the field and call the play. And I'm just saying from what I see. So I wish they would open up the playbook a little bit more and really just let them guys do what they do. I thought to be honest with you, I thought when we got the board and we got this new staff, it was going to be fun ball. And joyless murder ball. What we kept saying, joyless murder ball. And we have a few 3 and outs, and we're gonna have 3 and outs. I'm not complaining about that. You like you said, you're not gonna get on the field and score every time, but sometimes it's like just 2 throws to the left and then a run, and then we kick it. I'm like, that was unimaginative. That was like no thought process in it. Just come on, man, just do something. Just to because when we're in the SEC play now, we got Georgia coming, and everybody's like, hey man, Georgia, Georgia didn't look good against Kentucky. I equate Georgia to us in a way. If y'all notice, Georgia struggled with less team. I think Georgia played down to those teams. But when it's time for Georgia to play the team that they're supposed to play, they play the team they're supposed to play the way they're supposed to play them. Alabama's sort of that way. We play down to lesser team. We don't really, I don't know. We got that kind of lollygagging, whatever the case may be, half-assing it or whatever the case may be. And we may get a win that we looking like, the score don't indicate the game, or is a win that, like we were supposed to really go out here and dominate these people, whatever the case may be. Georgia do the same thing. But don't think Georgia going to come out with the same game plan they had against Kentucky. It's not going to happen. They're not going to go out, come to Tuscaloosa and play the game that they played in Kroger Field Saturday. They're going to come and they swinging. They're putting all their best players on the field. They're putting their best foot forward. So we got to be ready for it. And I think we'll be ready for it. I'm really not worried about Georgia too tough, to be honest with you. I think we're good there. But there are some other teams down the line that, made me wonder. But that's it for me. I mean, I just wish that they would put it out there, man. Don't hold nothing back. I don't want to hold that. And that may not be the case. They may not be holding them for Georgia. It's just those fans saying it. I mean, we holding back for Georgia. We ain't gonna show everything. Show it. Why? Why not?
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Man, I've heard that my whole life, man, and I ain't never liked hearing that. Oh, we were just sandbagging, or we're not showing them everything we can do. Why? Because it seems to me like if your offense could execute 100 different types of plays a game, you would do that, because it's going to give the next team's defensive coordinator a nightmare. Because now he's having to study for all this instead of just
too much. Yeah.
So I ain't never bought into that. Sometimes a coach just sticks to something that he sees, and he keeps working a certain way because he sees their defense kind of going one way or the other, and they're not really. He knows he can catch them off guard with something. He's not. It's game plan. If they think the whole playbook could work the whole game, they'd run the whole playbook. I hate when people say, "Oh, they just didn't play that hard." No. Sometimes other teams just kind of prepare well for you. Sometimes they're built to stop what you're best against, and then you have to find another way to keep rolling. And in Alabama's case and in Georgia's case, their depth, their athletes keep them in every ball game, even when they don't look so good sometimes. So I don't think Alabama or Georgia have ever held back on anybody as far as playing a Kentucky, playing a South Florida last week. It wasn't that we didn't do everything we could. South Florida physically matched us for a good while. I just think I ain't never bought that. I've always felt like that's just an excuse a fan base makes because they don't really know why their team didn't look the way they thought they should.
And that's what we were saying, Rude Boy. He was saying, holding what back? Where did we get this stuff from? We were saying what other people say, but we're saying that we don't think that's really the case. We don't really think that's the case. I don't never think that. I always thought that was we holding back. I never heard a coach say we holding back. I never heard that from a coach. If they do it, they keep it to themselves and they just do it. But I never heard that. And we're just saying that basically we see what Texas is doing right now. Texas is opening up a can. Tennessee, they opening up a can right now. They ain't holding nothing back right now. And we're just saying, if that is the case, why are they doing that? If that's the case, do we think that's the case? No. And like you just pointed out, Van, I think it's just certain things they see in the defense that they're trying to work out at the moment. You know what I'm saying? What you just said, basically. That's my thought on it. That's my thought. But overall, man, when you look at the numbers, you look at what Milroe do it, and I'm saying this. Like we used to talk about, we want to see more routes, more different stuff. I honestly think, like I say, Kellen DeBoer is an offensive-minded guy. And I really think he's sticking to Jalen Milroe's strength to the core. I really do think he's just doing that. Because if you play Madden or NCAA, I haven't played in a long time. But if you put that thing on all Madden or whatever, them games ain't easy. If you put it at the hardest level, them games ain't easy. You ain't going down the field scoring every daggone time. You ain't stopping every daggone scoring position for every position that the offense have on the opposite side of the team. You get scored on. You throw interceptions.
Right.
But one thing we can't say that we didn't turn the ball over yesterday. Like I said, we cleaned up the penalties. I think we ran the ball with Jam on Jalen Milroe pretty daggone well yesterday. We spreaded the ball around. Multiple receivers caught passes yesterday. So, I like that. I like that from the offense. And we are still getting better. I will say this. If anybody has any doubt or anything, that y'all remember the last year that we just came out swinging so dominant on offense, like just on the offensive side of the ball. We was peaking early. Then we got in that national championship against Clemson. We got we got the brakes beat off us.
You sure did.
And that year we was having a hell of an offensive year that year. And we got the brakes beat off us.
You sure did. Well, what, 44-16?
Yeah. It was a bittersweet moment for me because my boy Justin Ross was over the ball on Clemson. I ain't gonna lie. I was happy for him. But let's talk about this defense. Y'all got anything else on the offense? On this defense, the standout players was LT Overton. Gotta give it to Q-Rob. Oh yeah, LT Overton, you better quit before you catch a murder charge out there. You better stop what you're doing. You're gonna catch a murder charge. These are people's children out there. Q Robinson, Deontay Lawson, Malachi Moore, and my boy Jahad Campbell had a heck of a game. Moore's had a heck of a game. We can tell turnovers were harped on all last week by Womack and the defensive staff. 4 forced fumbles yesterday and 2 recovered. I like that. We got turnovers yesterday. The anchors of our pass rush are starting to emerge. LT Overton was fantastic. Quay Russo, Q Robinson was fantastic. Stepped up at the Wolf with the injury of Quay Russo. Russo had a lower leg injury. Speedy recovery. Hope you okay. Run defense left a little bit to be desired, particularly on the Wisconsin 17-play touchdown drive. That killed me. That hurt my feelings. Secondary also got beat a couple times, but wasn't burnt due to bad quarterback play. And that's why I say I was kind of upset with Tyler Van Dyke going out yesterday because I feel like I said, when the first string go out, it's very few teams that when the first string go out, they're going to keep it going with the second team. We seen it yesterday with Texas, even though they play UTSA, which is a good program. Arch Manning came in there, he lit it up yesterday. But yesterday with Wisconsin, when Van Dyke went out, whoever, I don't even remember old buddy's name. When he went out, it was kind of like, yeah, we finna run away with it. But we did see stuff where, like that 17-play drive, I think that felt like somebody was sticking a knife in my heart. That felt like somebody, I'm like, can we get off the field? But what I noticed, Wisconsin, like I said, they returned 3 starters that gave up 23 sacks last year. That's pretty solid. They returned them guys, and them guys were blocking pretty daggone well. They was getting to the next level on our linebackers, and that was what was getting them guys to be able to goddamn gas us like they were. But overall, we only held them to 10 points, which was a good thing on our behalf. So, still got things to work out on the defensive side, but I believe we're going to come together. I believe we're going to come together. Rise Up, what's your thoughts on the defense?
I mean, I'm with you. I like what I saw as far as linebacker play. I think the O-line, I was hoping they get a little bit more pressure. some of you said, I mean, some of you been really harping on for the longest. And then especially when we got this new defense we got, everything runs through that defensive line, right? And if that defensive line is not clicking, everything else is going to fall by the wayside. So we got to get pressure on Beck coming in the 28. We've got to be able to put some pressure on him. And also, you know, that middle of the field was wide open a couple of times. I mean, like wide open, you know. And so, I mean, I think we can just touch upon some things. We got 2 weeks to get ready for Georgia. So I like the direction we're going. I think we need to fine-tune a few things. We'll be all right. Good thing about it, these young guys are getting hella experience, hella game time experience. So, you know, they'll get better as we go. So, I'm liking it. That long drive did. I'm with you on that. That long drive, man, that hurt my feelings a little bit. I was kind of like, come on, man. You can see the Deacon gas. You see him hands on the hip, kind of breathing. So, but, you know, overall, I give him a B. We getting there. So,
like I said, what I know is with the D line, as far as getting pressure, I think we're pretty good. We can get better at it, of course, but just the interior part, let's get Otis and Tim Keenan, because they're the run stoppers. They're the run stoppers. Right. And we got to get them guys, because on the D line, you got the guys that specialize in pass rush and specialize in stopping the run. Yesterday, I would have wanted to see especially when we made the quarterback switch, when they made that quarterback switch. Let's get them guys that specialize in more stopping the run more. You know what I'm saying? Let's get them guys in there.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Sorry, man. Cut out on there for a minute. As far as the defense goes, the D-line is still not where I want it to be. I mean, we're seeing good individual efforts from certain guys in certain games, and I got faith they can be there. I know they got all the talent in the world. But I still want to see more pressure. I want to see more pressure on the quarterback. They don't always end up in a sack stat on the column somewhere, you know. Not everything you do on defense is going to be a stat. But getting that pressure and getting in a quarterback's head and making him have to work a little extra can sometimes be the difference in a ball game. And when you can make a quarterback have to be aware of his surroundings so much that he can't focus on that first hot route, and this guy's covered. Now he's got to watch the pocket. You know, it's those little things like that can be a big difference against a team like a Georgia, a Tennessee, you know, and so on and so forth. I worry about that. We've talked about it the last few weeks. We talked about it yesterday amongst ourselves. You know, the DBs getting caught sometimes, slipping a little bit. Guys are getting past them. The quarterbacks are just missing open throws. And experience that, but you want to start to see that lesson, and I don't think it is necessarily. I'm hoping they can work on that. But as far as like the linebacking core, you know, Jahad Campbell and Lawson flying all over that ball. Man, Campbell and Lawson play like they're possessed sometimes. I really love their attitude and the way they go after it. Malachi Moore, and we know how good Malachi is. He's been there forever. But I feel like each game this year he's gotten better as far as this season goes. Yeah. Man, it felt like they called his name on defense over and over yesterday. Yes. Right. He was getting involved in the run game, in the pass game. He was everywhere. And you love to see something like that. And that's where a guy that's been there a while and knows what he's doing is key, and why he's so important to that defense. So we got things. We're not perfect on defense. I got some concerns, but nothing that can't be worked out or fixed. Nothing so bad that you just dread the rest of the season. So it'll be interesting to see how this group develops and unfolds as the season goes on.
Yeah, like I said, overall, especially with the coaching staff, man, we're gonna get better. And yesterday I did see we're getting better. We're getting better, and I think about last year we was getting better, get better, and look what we got. You know what I'm saying? To the playoff spot, whatever. But we getting better. But in conclusion, my whole thing is Raw wins have been a struggle for us in the last couple years. So it was good to go to Camp Randall yesterday and jump up and down, Yesterday, we walked in their trap, took over their trap. Yesterday, we ran that thing yesterday. We walked in their trap, took over that thing. And we dominated up there. The overall thing, we dominated. And with us getting the big dominant road win, we got some tough road games ahead of us. We're going to Tennessee, we're going to LSU, we're going down to Oklahoma this year. So we got some tough road games this year. And let's continue to get better and improve every week. But y'all know I do this thing. The Tusker Award winners of the week. Mm-hmm. This go around, I got Jalen Milroe, 271 yards, 89.9 QBR with 5 touchdowns. That's goddamn on hell of that for touchdowns for a quarterback. Jalen Milroe is going crazy right now. He's going crazy. Mm-hmm. Got Jalen Miller with 71 rush yards, 9 carries, and 1 touchdown. That dude, he's so explosive. Man. Ryan Williams, 4 catches, 78 yards, and 1 touchdown. Hollywood, baby, Hollywood. Jeremy Bernard, and I see that we're working him in a lot more, which I'm expecting with this Washington staff. But he got 55 catches, 3 receptions, 1 touchdown. Deontay Lawson, 7 total tackles, 4 solos, and 1 forced fumble. The boy beast. LT Overton, 6 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble. You better be on. You better watch yourself too, LT. Q Robinson stepped up, 2 total tackles, 1 sack, and 1 forced fumble. The boys balled out yesterday, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. That was that defense. That Jahad Campbell, man, Russo and that Lawson, bro, and Malachi Moore, man. I don't know. I'm just. It's been a while since we've had some guys that's just, hungry, and you hear it and you see it, and I'm glad that we're getting back to that point where our defense is becoming respected again, and so.
Yeah, most definitely. Van, you got anything?
I mean, I like everything you had to say when you highlighted the best players, or the guys' performances that most impressed you. I'm right there with you. I think Milroe would be my offensive player of the game, and I think for me, Malachi Moore would be my defensive player of the game. I was impressed with both of them. Their leadership, you can tell they've been in the program a while. I just hope this team continues to grow the way it's growing because we're looking better. We're looking considerably better from one week to the next. So I'm perfectly fine with this. We got a humongous game against one of the best programs in college football 2 weeks from now. We got some things we're going to have to get in the lab and work on for sure. But so do they. They're having some issues similar to us in certain ways. So it's going to be interesting to see that boxing match that is Alabama and Georgia because it's a good game every time.
Yes, sir. So that's enough of Bama football. Now let's talk college football. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think I want to go into the segment Van brought in. And Van, you can go right into your segment. You can explain what's going on, what you're talking about, and what it is, and go on with the topic.
All right, man. I appreciate that. Ever since you kind of let me come on the show a couple times a week, you've been very generous to me. I appreciate it. So I wanted to try to bring something maybe different to the table. Hopefully people in the chat will like it. If they don't, they'll tell us. But I thought I'd try something new. Every week I'm going to try to give the 5 worst things I've seen in college football. It may be a player, may be a team, may be a whole organization, a coach, etc. But I'm going to try to give you the 5 worst things and the 5 best things I've seen in college football from week to week. As far as week 3 goes, we'll start with the worst because I like to get the bad news out of the way early. This is going to cover all of college football. We'll start with number 5. And I I will give you the headline and I will give you a little summary. And if you want to, we can all discuss it. How's that sound to you?
Go ahead. That's perfect.
Okay. All right. So number 5 on the worst things I've seen as far as week 3 college football, the ACC. Discounting Miami, and I don't think Clemson's a terrible team. I think Clemson will end the year still pretty solid program. They are well coached. They're missing some key things in certain areas, and they're gonna have to talk about it. And Miami's on fire right now. But the ACC as a whole is 6-6. Their ranked teams are 6-6 against non-conference opponents right now. Their wins come 2 were against FCS schools, one's against Ball State, one's against App State, Jacksonville State, and Florida. Boston College, Georgia Tech, and Florida State all have a loss as soon as they were ranked. You know what I'm saying? As soon as Boston College hit that top 25, they exited. Boom, revolving door. It happened to Georgia Tech, and God knows Florida State. We'll get into them later. But what do y'all think right now as far as the ACC, minus Clemson and Miami? Because we know what they got. We know they're good programs. I know Georgia beat Clemson pretty steadily, but it was a good game for a half. And we know there's talent on that team. So minus those 2 programs, what do you think of the ACC right now? Start with you, Nick Sabine.
What I think of the ACC right now is what I always thought about them. I always thought ACC wasn't that tough. At one point, it was just Clemson at one point. Now, Miami's back in this thing, so Miami is a no doubter, but Boston College, I felt like they beat Florida State, but Florida State is 0-3. That ain't telling me nothing. And C State, I don't think that's where it's at. What's going on, Bobby Sprinkle? ACC, man, I never been really too high on the ACC. North Carolina ain't hitting up on nothing in my book. You could add Notre Dame to the ACC. Yeah, they should have been one to the ACC in my opinion. But I don't think much of the ACC. I'm just be honest with you. I ain't really got much to say about the ACC because I never thought ACC was a conference like that in my book anyway. Florida State used to be the team, but when did Florida State start dying out? Was it after Jimbo Fisher? Like they died out
during Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, during Jimbo Fisher. Yeah, so we killed him. Matter of fact, we killed him. We the one that ended that. But honestly, ACC, I never thought much of the ACC anyway. So, and I still think the same. It's just gonna be one team that dominate. Now, Clemson, yes, they lost to Georgia, but it was Georgia. Georgia, a good goddamn on team. Georgia, good goddamn on team. Like, I don't know who in the ACC. I don't know. I don't think Miami will beat Georgia. Honestly, they good, but maybe last night. But on a good day, Georgia, Miami ain't gonna beat Georgia.
Nah. What about you? What about you, Rise Up?
They hot garbage, bro. Trash. Straight up trash. Listen, the ACC is always a one school conference. Yeah. You know, it's gonna either be Miami back in the day or Florida State for a second, Clemson for a second, but it's never where the conference itself is, you can like 2-3 schools. What's the guy, Nick?
Has it ever been anybody besides Clemson, Florida State, and Miami?
Miami? Nah. Virginia Tech had some years where they never won.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
They weren't like a really perennial powerhouse type of school. So no,
and realistically, Miami's best years, if I'm not mistaken, were they not Big East then?
Oh, was it?
Yeah. You might be right.
I don't know.
I think they might have been Big East. And actually, Virginia Tech was Big East back then, too, I think. I can swear on it, but
you're right. I think you're right. So we'll give them the ACC since they're now. It's just always been like a one school that's having a great year or 2 or 3 years, whatever the case may be. But it's never, like I said, one year where you got 3 or 4 schools in that conference that can win there's going to be a contender for the Natty. Unlike the SEC, any given year, man, Alabama, Georgia, even LSU, you got to be like, okay, one of those schools in the mix, or 3 or 4 more in the top 5 or 10 or whatever the case may be. So, ACC, they're some smart schools. They got great academics.
Yeah.
And they're basketball. They're a basketball conference, man.
Right.
You give them, like I said, one good team a year, and y'all giving Clemson. Man, Clemson sucked this year. I don't care what y'all say. I'm sorry, man. It is what it is. I don't know what it is, but they're just not there no more. They done fell off, and they're not there, man. And I outside of Miami this year, I don't know what they're going to end up doing. I don't know what they're going to be come years in, but that's all I got. That's all. Miami, that's it.
Well, that's really all you can say. I mean, because it's been lackluster, man. And I hate that because I like to see teams be good. I like to see conferences that are stacked in that power struggle, and you got 4 or 5 teams competing, and you really don't know who's going to win that conference. But as it stands right now, it looks like Miami controls their own destiny.
Yeah,
they should make the playoffs, but it's hard to say that there will be 2 ACC teams in that 12 playoff bracket. I can't just throw Clemson away because I know what kind of talent they've got certain spots. But overall, they are not Clemson that we're used to seeing from a couple years ago. I will agree with that. We're going to go to that number 4 on the worst things I've seen in college football for week 3. Michigan throwing the ball. Davis Warren completed all of his passes yesterday. The problem was 3 of them was completed to Arkansas State. So, I mean, technically, he was 14 of 14. The stat sheet's going to look 11 for 14, but 3 of them went to the other team. It just feels like that when Harbaugh left, he left last year's cheat sheet from Connor Stallions and took the quarterback room with him. It's just hard to look at a team. They should run the ball from now to Christmas. I wouldn't even put a quarterback under center. If you could snap the ball and hand it to the running back, that's just what I would do. I would live and die with a run. I wouldn't even put a quarterback out there just in case he wanted to get smart and try and throw the ball, because Michigan looks the best when they're running. And that's just how I feel about it. What about you, Rizzo? I know you don't like Michigan, or I don't think you hate them, but I know you don't like them. I don't think any of us do. But have you paid attention especially at the quarterback position? Have you paid attention to Michigan much this year?
I looked at them a little bit. I haven't, dove deep into it or whatever the case may be. But you're right, man. I mean, last year they wasn't a big throwing team. Period. They were a ground and pound type school, and they got them through. They won a national championship, man. What can you say? But this year it's awful, man. I don't know what's going on. They had a lot of stuff going on with scandals and this, and the head coach left, and a lot of people left, and things of that nature. But yeah, I agree with you, man. That display yesterday was pitiful. It was bottom of the barrel. So I agree with you, bro. Nick Jr.
I didn't see. I just kept an eye on the score, but I never really dived into it. But I did see they make the switch from that one quarterback you was talking about to Alex Orji. And do you know how well Alex Orji is doing? Because he's a running guy. Do you know how he performed yesterday?
If I'm remembering correctly, I think he hit about 50% of his passes. The yards wasn't there. But, getting thrown into a game sometimes, and that game got closer than a lot of people talk about for a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, we may see more of him further on.
And like you said, Michigan should be trying to run the ball. You said don't put the quarterback in. But no, you put Alex Orji in. But guess what? Don't get smart and try to throw the ball with him. Run Alex Orji. He's an athlete.
Right.
He's somebody that can run, man. Like, he's
Yep.
somebody that can't run. Run the guy. Run him. Use him to his strengths. Use Michigan to his strengths. And I brought up this about Michigan with Sherrod Moore. One thing about play calling, it's an art. It's not just going out there calling plays on your play sheet. It's how you dial these plays up. Right. I don't know who's calling the plays. I don't know if him or OC is. I don't know, because I'm not going to even sit here and act like I know what's going on with Michigan football like that. But Sherrod Moore, he dialed it up well. And the defense was so dominant last year that even if it doesn't work out to their favor, that they can still rely on their run. And their blocking schemes was unmatched last year. The way they got them guys, Black Quam and Dylan Edwards, I think his name was Edwards, whatever his name was, open. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But Michigan run the ball. That's all I'm gonna say. Run the ball, and y'all are not producing Tom Brady's anymore.
I will give a shout out to D. Finn and Gap, man.
Yeah,
great, making some great points out there. And he said Michigan lost a lot last year. Expect them to be out of the mix for 2 years, and I agree with that. I mean, I don't think anybody that watches football truly expected Michigan to walk in here and go to the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
But it is surprising to see them be that inept at quarterback, the way they've recruited the last few years. So their physicality is still there on the O-line. They can still run the ball pretty good, but Texas kind of gave you the blueprint on Michigan and how to beat them. Let's go to number 3 on the worst things I've seen in college football this week. ESPN writers and their rankings for the 12-spot playoffs. The consensus for most of them, they have Texas at number 1. I don't have an issue with that. Texas is firing on all cylinders. Yeah. They look like a great football team. They look like they could be a national champion football team. They were this close last year. I don't think anybody's got a big argument with that. They got Alabama sitting around the 6th spot. I don't have a problem with that. You know, till we get further into our better competition, we're all just speculating right now. You know,
right?
What I do have a problem with, maybe it's just me not understanding where they're coming from. But when I look on there and certain writers have Oklahoma State, Kansas State, and Utah ranked ahead of Alabama and Georgia, I'm just left scratching my head a little bit. And this ain't a top 25 ranking, it's a playoff ranking. And I understand that sometimes teams play in easier conferences and they may be the big fish, small pond kind of situation. But there ain't no way that I would put Oklahoma State, who's coached by a mullet, and can't do nothing but run the ball. They couldn't stop a cold, dude, on defense. Arkansas did everything they could to lose the game. It was still winning overtime with. Come on now. Kansas State, to their credit, they're undefeated right now and they're doing good. But their defense don't look that tough. And their quarterback's a great athlete, but if you get in a game where you need him to throw 35 times to beat somebody, it ain't happening. And that's just what I see. And as far as Utah goes, Rising's hurt. That was their best player on offense. How could you have them ranked that high? That's just where I'm at. Nick Saban Jr., how do you feel about some of these rankings you're seeing as far as playoff spots?
First of all, Bama Talk with John. Appreciate you for tuning in. If you're not subscribed to his channel, please go subscribe to his channel. He be having a nice panel over there. I'm talking about a nice panel. I'm talking about Ty from Around the Table Sports. Coach Sean.
Yeah, Ty Hayes is something, man.
That's an all-star squad over there, I'm telling you. So please go subscribe to that channel. Please do. But got no problem. I got a problem with the teams that they named. Come on, like you said, Kansas State. What's the quarterback name? Avery John. I forgot the dude name.
Johnson, something like that.
Yeah, he a good athlete. No lie, but like you said,
yeah, he is. I'm not trying to take nothing from him.
Yeah, like you said, but when it comes to him needing to pull out a win to beat a top-notch team in the playoffs, does he have that in him? No. Cam Rising. Yes, y'all won big yesterday, but Cam Rising is the best thing they got over there. He's injury prone. He's injury prone right now, and I don't think that quarterback that they got in be the guy that would take Utah to whatever Utah State, whatever they are, the Utes to the next level without him.
Utes.
Yeah, like in Oregon State. Yeah, or we seen what was up with Oregon State last year when they got into Washington. You know what I'm saying? And DJU played a good goddamn season that year, good game that year, but that wasn't even enough to get them out of that. You know what I'm saying? Was the Oregon State? No, you said Oklahoma State, right? My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oklahoma State. No, not Oklahoma. Not
when you think Oklahoma State, just think I'm a grown man. I'm 40.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys, man. Listen, I don't even get into it. I'm with defense. Playoff ranking just entertainment purposes, man. Especially this early in the season.
We know nothing about college football right now, straight up.
Right, exactly. Like I said, we haven't really gotten to the tough play. A few teams have played some tough matchups, but for the most part, we've been playing tune-up games for the most. And, now we're starting to get into some deep conference play where the rubber meets the road. So, hey, man, listen, I let them be great for the moment. I won't jump on them.
Yeah.
My only problem with it is Kansas State's best team on paper was a ranked Arizona team he's given up about 25 points a game on defense and gave up 39 to New Mexico that Auburn beat. And I'm like, nah. Pump the brakes on this shit a little bit. But that's just me. I get my feelings sometimes. You know how it goes.
Yeah. So
all right, number 2 on the worst things we've seen in college football this week. Florida. And there ain't much to discuss here because we covered it early in the program. But he's going to be fired. It's just when. Is it tomorrow? Is it today? I really doubt it's at the end of the season. It feels like the rest of the team left during the first game and come back. They've got a divided quarterback situation that a lot of times divides the locker room.
Yes.
They've I stated it earlier, but they've regressed every year, it feels like. They've got a lack of big plays. It feels like if you can physically outmatch them, they cannot come back. It's pretty hopeless right now. And I know Napier's got to feel the temperature in the room because, as I stated previously, there was coaches that did better than him that got fired at this point.
Exactly.
There was literally coaches that had performed better at Florida than he has at this point. And the guy came. McElwain took him to an SEC championship game.
Yeah.
Mullen give us hell in an SEC championship game with a wild offense one year. He didn't make it. So, he's got fit. So, my advice to him is to start packing now and beat the traffic out because that's the best thing he can do right now. And then I know that's pretty shitty on my part. But that's just how I feel about it. Rise up. I know we've all talked about it, but to sum it up, Florida, is that not one of the worst things you've seen in college football? Not just week 3, but all year.
Yeah, I mean, this year, last year, listen, I'm not a Florida fan, but when they hired Napier, I was like, I didn't think that was a good fit. Personally, me, they saw something in him. Like I said, I'm not a coach. I'm just a couch coach. And like John said, we all just giving our opinions, but I didn't think he was a good fit. And it's proven to be right that he isn't a good fit for Florida. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if he's too laid back. I'm not there in practice or in any kind of team meetings, but he has lost the team. It's done. And like I said earlier, they need to go ahead and make some kind of move to save whatever little recruits or whatever they can salvage for the next season. This season is done. So you're looking forward to next season and beyond. So recruits, anybody thinking about flipping towards you, any kind of Anybody thinking about maybe hitting the portal to come to to Florida, you want to go ahead and make that move and get it out of the way. Might as well, man. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Just rip it off. Nick,
they're going to. So what are you waiting for?
Right.
So last night, I get a call from a weird number. I'm like, and it was a Florida number. So I answered it, and it was Billy. He was like, "Hey, do your homeboy still got that movie coming?" I said, "They good little dabble in here." And I was like, "What's up?" He was like, "Man, you know that." My nigga, I said, "Yeah, I'm already reading the little reports that coming out say they ready to get rid of you, man. So what's up?" I said, "It gotta be something in there for me. I can get you hooked up now. I can get you hooked up, but it gotta be something in there for me." And I was like, I made the call. He told me to make the call. I told him after week 1 that you need to go and start packing your office, put stuff in the box, and just sit it in the car because it's coming. I said, they don't do it like they used to do it, but they do it a little bit.
I heard the same thing. I heard he got pulled over on the way to church this morning for littering because there was Avon and Mary Kay books blowing out the back seat. I don't even know if them two companies are still running no more. I remember being a thing in the 90s, but
I know, right? Hey, for real.
Man, he better find him a side hustle. I don't know how good he weed eats and mows, but there ain't no shame in the game. You can make some good money out there, so he might want to start looking.
Hey, but it's one of those things, though, man. I look at little crazy things. I think LSU was considering him one time, but I look at little small things. He probably could have did better at LSU, knowing that
the landscape.
He knows the state. He knows the state already. He knows it already. Florida is an animal, but Florida has a lot of talent. But do I think he would have lasted longer at LSU? I don't know. I just know he knows Louisiana a little bit more better than Florida. But Napier, just get ready to go, man. Just get ready to go. Just get ready.
All I'm saying, if you see an ad on Facebook and Billy's telling you to try some Wonder Shake and you can lose weight with it, help your boy out. Toss him a $5. We all know that shit don't work, but hell, let's help him out a little bit. He was at Alabama for a brief period, coaching some receivers. So we don't hate the man. We just hate the situation. All right. So the number one thing, and this could go for every week in college football, not just week 3. Simply, it's Florida State University, or as they used to call them, Free Shoes University. It seems to me like the ACC might drop the lawsuit to keep them in the ACC. It'd be cheaper to just save on the lawsuit charges and let them leave. Let them go. What can you even say about
where they trying to go again?
They might could go independent because the SEC don't want them, because we've already got bottom feeders called Vanderbilt and Auburn and Kentucky. We've got those. We don't need another bottom feeder. What can you even say about Florida State that hadn't already been said about them by their own fan base? Because I ain't gonna lie, sometimes after a Florida State game or certain teams, I like to go around on YouTube and just see what their fans are saying on call-in shows afterwards. Since Maury and Jerry Springer don't come on no more, this is the only other entertainment I can get. So I'll click over there, and it's dangerous to be Norvell right now in Tallahassee. Their fan base is going nuts, and a lot of people say it like it is. They cried and whined wanting the playoff last year, when realistically the team that took them to the woodshed was more deserving. Georgia had a way better argument in my mind than Florida State did, and since they kept arguing that, Georgia killed their program. They ain't recovered. 63-3, and they have died. They have not come back. The whole team's quit. DJ, you need a job. He can't throw the ball 5 yards down the field. Their offensive line was supposed to be in a top 5 group. They ain't a top 50. Not on not the eye test. No. It's looking bad, man. And to be honest with you, they're so bad right now. I have seen Auburn fans walk through Walmart, look in the mirror, and say, "Hey, at least we ain't Florida State fans." That's how bad things are going for Florida State. That's when you know. That's when you know things are going right. So rise up. To sum it up, the worst thing in college football, in my opinion, was Florida State. How you feeling right now?
It is, man, and to go from where they went last year to where they are now, it's got to be like a culture shock, you shell shock, you know, like they said when you cut yourself or you an accident, you don't feel it for the first few minutes because you're shocked. Not those fans, you know, they're like numb. They're kind of numb right now because in their mind that they were about to be it for the ACC. They were, you know, and I know they're trying to get out, but they were the next big thing, right? So they didn't make the playoff last year, and everybody was up in arms, and they was roaring and screaming and cussing and fussing. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. If I was a Florida State fan, I've been fussing and cussing too. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
I would have had to. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I'm above
I would
it.
get the same thing their fans are doing. They're fans. I get it. I am not mad at the fans. I mean, you know, listen, man. Listen, we went undefeated. We beat our conference. All this stuff that y'all said, and we get kicked out. Now, or we didn't make it. You know, we didn't pass the test or whatever the case may be. So I understand them. But it goes back to what NSJ has been saying all season. He was even saying it last season. You can't build your team on a transfer portal. You can't. You're not going to sustain. It's not going to sustain. It's good to put in key places. You just kind of filling out the rest of the puzzle. The main part of the puzzle is there. You just got 1, 2, 3 pieces that you need to plug in place. You know, but to have your whole team, your whole roster, basically built upon transfer. There's no continuity. These cats don't know each other. You know, they didn't want to be here in the first place. They were chose Florida State to begin with. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you. It is what it is, brother. And I hate it for Florida State, the fan base. I hate it for them. I don't hate it for the school. I can care less about Florida State University, but for the fans, man, I hate it for them. But Billy's not Billy. Norvell is not going anywhere. This is just 1 year. You got to give him.
He just got a raise.
Yeah, he just listen. They gonna learn about giving these folks the extension because they had one good season. Then you gonna learn season. How many people? You had Jimbo Fisher. You had Coach O. You got listen. You gonna learn. But
let me say this real quick before I hand it off to Nick Saban Jr. They had a great year last year, ain't no doubt about it. But their conference was bad last year, y'all. Yeah, they was bad. Miami wasn't where they were at right now. Clemson was starting their slow decline. Louisville, you know, this they walked through a pretty easy schedule, and maybe we're seeing some realer right now. You know, I don't know. Nick Saban Jr., what's your thoughts?
Same thing, but like I said, I think Louisville's a building program, but are they building that much where they're competing in the ACC championship? I don't think they're building that daggone much. DJU, you suck. Players to the Alabama players, I love y'all, but the grass ain't always green on the other side. And I'm gonna say this about the transfer portal. Think about the teams that kill it in the portal. They're going to get elite transfers. They're not going to get guys that didn't play at another school.
Right.
Alabama, we didn't go get a Keon Sabb that didn't play at Michigan. King Mack, we didn't go get King Mack from Penn State that didn't play at Penn State. The dude that we got from, was it Purdue, Wake Forest, whatever, Deshaun Jones, he played there. He played there. We going to get guys that put in time at the school that they came from. Isaiah Bond. When Texas got Isaiah Bond, they got a guy that was a playmaker. They're getting pieces that they're not getting pieces that didn't play at all. They're getting third string. Colorado, listen to what I'm saying. Y'all going to get a lot of transfers, but y'all want to get transfers that if they played at a school that really wasn't on the radar like that, or y'all want to get guys that didn't play, like third string, like third on the depth type didn't play, is what I'm saying. Mike Norvell, it's so crazy to see how one player made a big difference. I'm not gonna say one player because Jared Verse was a big piece to the other defense lineman they got. I forgot his name, white guy. He was a beast though. Like they had some pieces, but it's just crazy to see how the main stuff really. That's the reason why they didn't get in the playoffs because of the quarterback. So
right.
Until you guys start recruiting y'all are in Florida, bro. You can go get a quarterback that's ranked 470 something in the nation, and he can be a dog if you got bring him up around to get him developed the right way. Let's just be for real. You in the state of Florida, recruit your state better and quit depending on the portal. But Mike Norvell is not looking good for you, buddy. They're starting to regret it. I'm telling you, this is how college football is. We with you with 1 minute, the next minute we'll turn our back on you quick. That's how college football is.
Yeah,
that's just how it is.
Yeah, man, you made a great point right there because you are in the state of Florida. There's 3 good quarterbacks down the street from you. I mean, come on with it. And also to address Alabama Tide, talking about who is this ogre in the top right corner. Man, you better get your Uncle Fester looking ass up out of here with that bullshit. You better go put a light bulb. Go put a light bulb in your mouth. Nah, I'm just playing. Alabama Tide's my buddy, man. I'm just playing with
it. Oh man.
All right, so we've covered the 5 worst things we've seen in college football as of week 3. Let's talk about some of the best things we've seen. Let's get to some positives because we're all football fans out here, and a lot of us love to see tons of good. We like to watch football all across the country, man. I'm an Alabama fan. All these guys are Alabama fans, but we like to watch everybody, and we can appreciate good football. And I'm gonna start with number 5 of the best things we've seen in week 3. Texas quarterback room. Man, woo. Texas is like a damn box of tissues. Everything you pull out, the same thing. I don't even understand it, man. Same suit, just repeated. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Man, I've watched Quinn Ewers play football for 3 years. I don't think he's ever played a full season. He's a great football player, but they always got an answer when he goes down. Man, I hadn't been the biggest fan of Arch Manning coming into Texas.
Yeah, man.
I didn't think he played the greatest talent playing for a private school in Louisiana. I also thought he was a little overhyped coming out because of the last name. But I'm going to say this. He may be the first man that we've ever seen that could run for a 60-yard touchdown. Because Peyton Manning was slower than me, and I'm slow. But, dude, I'm telling you right now, Texas quarterback room, Sarkisian, man. Boy, how I wish he'd have stayed a little longer. He can make a star out of a quarterback. Me and Nick Saban Jr. talked about it before the show. We thought about going down there just to see if he can make us a quarterback. Because I'd like to get some of that third-string NFL money. I hold a clipboard all day. I'm trying to get my wife a G-Wagon, and I ain't on a good pace right now. So, let's see what we can do, Sark.
At one point in my playing time, I did touch the ball every play, but I was giving it to the quarterback. I was hugging the ball. But I really feel like he can make me an elite quarterback.
But man, let's start with you, NSJ. What do you think about this Texas quarterback room?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, it's hard. And I'm like you. We talked about it before. Thought Manning was overrated, but I have seen the growth in this kid. And I said it before, a lot of people try to put him in the transfer portal after year 1. But listen, man, he got a lot of football heads around him from his granddad, his uncles, even his brother. So I'm pretty sure they gave him a good advice. So when he came to Texas, he know what he was getting into coming to Texas.
Yep.
So therefore, that comes with the patience to knowing who's your coach, what type of development comes with that. And he knows that up under Sarkisian is going to turn me into the quarterback that I want to be. And we see that with the patience, him sitting there, even though he's behind yours right now. And with yours, it was a good move because I'm pretty sure, I ain't going to say I'm pretty sure, this is when I'm saying that. I've been watching yours for a while. He's injury prone, so you might get your chance sooner than later. So go to Sarkisian, be patient, be humble, sit up on him, learn all the ins and outs of this offense, and watch the game from the sideline and pick up stuff on your own, and go be great when it's time to play. And last night we seen that, like you said, Texas quarterback room like a box of tissues. Every time you pull one out, it's the same daggone thing. That was a good analogy. But hey, I'm big on that quarterback room. Listen, Texas is showing me something, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Texas is showing me some good stuff. Are they peaking too early in the season? I don't know how that plays out at the end, but right now it's looking goddamn good, I would say.
Yep. All right, rise up.
Yeah, man. When Uruz went out and he came in, like the first pass was a touchdown. And then the running, I don't know. His granddad Archie can run. So I don't know if he could got a 60.
Yeah.
60 but Archie Manning Archie Manning can run.
Archie was quarterback.
Yeah, he was a scrambler. So
he looked like, a lot like Frank Tarkenton back in the day. They were both kind of like
exactly. So, but yeah, man, that Texas, hey man, they are them boys. Hey, I don't know what to say. It's scary. It's scary to me because when one go out, the other come in. You got to realize they down like 2 or 3 running backs, and they just steady going.
So what we saying about on the quarterback rooms? What makes this Texas team so dangerous? Do we feel the same way as Alabama fans about our quarterback room? If Milroe goes out, what happens?
Who want to go? I'm gonna let you go first, man. Now I'll go.
Not to get off topic.
I was ready. No. It's a great topic. No, we won't be the same. And it's not to say that Ty Simpson's not a good athlete. We've seen him run for some good yards. I've seen him make some okay passes. But there's a nervousness out there that it would take him time to overcome. You just see he just plays a little shaky when he gets his time. The offense don't quite look the same under him. He rarely finds the end zone with his arm. He's better running the ball when he gets in the red zone. It's a weird stat, but go look at it. I'm not saying he's a terrible kid, and he can sling the rock. We all know he can. But do I think it would be a drop-off for Alabama? Yes, I do. I think Milroe's element of surprise, what's he going to do, his ability to get out of that pocket and be gone, Milroe just brings an element that it's going to be hard to replicate for anybody. And that's not me hating on Simpson. It's just hard to replicate what Milroe does for us. Because we get down on him sometimes about certain things, missing some open throws or something. But, man, we forget all the games he's won for us just by doing what he does best. So I can't let that go. I think about those things, and I think about what would happen if he wasn't on the squad the last 2 years. And I don't like to think about it too much because it kind of gets me down.
Hey, you know what somebody told me? This was a person said, Jalen Milroe is nothing but a Jalen Hurts. I said, you talking about the Jalen Hurts that played in 2 national championships in a row?
yeah, I'll take that. I also got in a Super Bowl in like his second or third year in the NFL too. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'll take that career.
Me, Nick, with your question, yeah, I gotta be honest with the Alabama fan base. When Nick said he looked at and how Van said he looked at Manning, I kind of looked that way at Simpson because he came from a smaller school, right? I think his school was a 2A, and so the level of competition he was playing in high school versus what a lot of other kids played was a little bit different. Now the boy got an arm on him; he's good. Mm-hmm. We've never seen him get the time on the field that he needs. I mean, Milroe hasn't been down, and God forbid he does. if he goes down or whatever, can Simpson come out and do what an artist can do? I don't know. I think I'm agreeing with Van. I think there will be a little drop off, but I'm gonna ask a question on this question. Do you think we have the staff now with Kalen DeBoer to do what Sark is doing, to become a true quarterback whisperer and develop quarterback, so when one leaves, the other one just kind of plugs right in? Go ahead, Nick.
Yes, I do think we have the stuff to do it, because it's all about getting your guys. Think about it. None of these guys are his guys, but he's such an offensive-minded guy. He's going to find a way to make it work for him. But starting with Austin Mack, he brought Austin Mack over for a reason. We've been hearing good things about Austin Mack for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with Killian Russell, he went and got this guy for a reason. These are his guys. So this one, I'm going to really start seeing, okay, this is what Kellen DeBoer does. You know what I'm saying? Might even be next season with Ty Simpson after he done set up on a full year, understands his thing, and you know what I'm saying? Might be with him. But for sure with Austin Mack and Killian Russell is when you're going to start seeing really, really what Kellen DeBoer does with quarterbacks. Because it's all about your guys, the guys you want.
Okay, I like that take.
Mm-hmm.
All right, back to you, Van.
Yes, I think easily. I think they can develop. We're going to have the type of development that Sark has at Texas. Just kind of look at DeBoer's career and where he's went, where guys, how they started and how they played versus how he got them in his system and made them. Look at Penix Jr. at Indiana. He showed potential, but he was not Penix that he was at Washington. That came under years of development under DeBoer, getting him in the system. Go ahead, NSJ.
What you just said about Penix, like you said, it took years of development, but who brought him over? Because Kellen DeBoer was at Indiana with that guy, and when he went over to Washington, he was like, I need you to come with me because we've been working on some good things that really can translate over here at Washington up under my tillage. We can keep this thing going.
Yep.
But go ahead.
But I mean that's really all I had to say about it. Look at his development and the way he looked from his time in Indiana to the time he got to Washington. And you know, Simpson's a guy that we know he's talented. We know he's a good quarterback. And we know there's a lot of college football teams that love to have him, and he'll get his opportunity. And it's going to be so fun this spring to see who comes out of spring ball going into fall camp. Who's kind of leading the race, you know? Is it Austin Mack? Is Simpson holding on strong with a little bit of experience and had played behind Milroe for some years? I mean, man, we're forgetting about Dylan Lonergan. I mean, a two-sport athlete that, man, he can make any throw on the field. I've seen a lot of tape on him, man, and he's fantastic.
Yes.
So the sky's the limit for the coaching staff, and we got to be happy. And we're not even talking about the guy that committed or the guy that's supposed to commit to us quarterback that won 4-star. So yeah, man, we're loaded and we're ready, and I think these are the guys to develop them. So yeah, I'm super excited to see what goes down. I think we would be just like Texas as far as quarterback development.
So before you move on, Van, Keith Holcomb, do I think Georgia was playing? I really don't think they was playing possible. I really think Kentucky gave them fits yesterday, but I don't. That doesn't. In my opinion, that doesn't tell the story about Georgia this season. It just it's like that sometimes. It be like that sometimes. But go ahead, Van.
All right, let's move on to number 4, best things I've seen in college football. And I want to highlight this guy. And I know a lot of people don't watch the Pitt Panthers, and they may not even remember Eli Holston.
Yes.
But Eli Holston was in Alabama's quarterback room for a little while. Seemed like a good kid. He had talent, but you've seen the guys that were ahead of him, and it's understandable why he left and went somewhere else to further play and develop himself. That's the good thing about the transfer portal that we don't talk about sometimes. We're always on the negatives. We don't talk about the positives, where a kid like him that's got plenty of talent, but they're behind guys that are just a little bit more developed and ready at that moment. He can go somewhere else and get what he needs and play and get a time to shine. Well, this young man went out for Pitt yesterday, and for 2 straight weeks now, Pitt has been behind double digits in the fourth quarter and came back and won. And not since Arkansas in 2008 has a team done that against two Power 5 programs back to back. Since 2003, I believe it is, Pitt is 0-73 when they're down by 10 or points going into the fourth quarter until this year. And Eli Holston,
that's crazy,
on the last two drives, had 67 rushing yards, and he had completed passes of 40, 11, 17, and 23 with 2 touchdowns to win the game. So I want to give a shout out to him. They may put a statue of him up next to Rocky up there if he keeps on doing what he's doing. So, I mean, shout out to him. It's good to see the young man go somewhere and succeed. That backyard brawl against West Virginia, it looked like West Virginia had it in the bag, and here come Pitt, and they stole it from them. So I just wanted to highlight that. I don't know if y'all had got to watch it or see anything about it, but what's your thoughts about it, Rise Up?
Man, listen, I was going to bring it up at the end of the show. Listen, you know, I'm a fan of I'm not a fan of Pitt, but I'm a fan of Eli Holston because he was an Alabama recruit and he committed here, right? So when he left, I try to follow all the guys and see what they're doing. And I've been talking about him this season so far. And that's a prime example why I say, well, we all say the transfer portal, like you said, is not that bad. And I be trying to tell people, some people like, if they leave, F them, forget them. And it ain't like that every player, man. Some people got to leave for their best benefit. And this guy is a prime example because he's going up there and he's showing and proving he's doing his thing. Something that he would have never got here. Nope. But he was behind too many people. It is what he was behind learning. It is what it is. He's there. He's fitting their system, and he was pumped up. And he was on the sideline like, he was. I'm like, yes. And I was so happy for him. I can care less about Pitt, but I was happy they won. I was cheering for him yesterday for hosting. Just on his merit alone. So, yeah, I'm proud of that guy. Them in West Virginia, that's their rival. And it was a good game, back and forth, last minute, and they pulled it out. So hats off to Eli Holston, man. Good job, great job, coming from a Bama fan.
Big Xavier Jr.
So we talked about it in before the show. Then you brought it up, and now I couldn't wait for a Rise Up because Rise Up been talking about this since week 1. He been talking about that dude since week 1. How basically, what I'm saying, these guys transfer for a reason, and I agree with it. You know how I feel about transfer. I don't see it all bad. I don't see it all bad because, man, we're behind a lot of people. Everybody ain't got time for just 1 year because, hey, who knows? He might need just more than 1 year to display what he wanted to do. And that 1 year might not have happened at Bama with the recruit, with the guys that came in, the guys that's in front of him, and the guys that are coming in. That it might not happen with him, but now you go to a school where you come in not automatically, but you came in, win the starting position, having a good season thus far. You come in and next year have another good season, and now that's your NFL draft year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So hey, Eli Holston, I'm rock with you, bro. Keep doing your thing.
Right.
All right, man. So the number 3 on the best things I've seen in college football this week, Barry Odom and the Rambling Gambling Rebels of UNLV. Sometimes some of us, down south don't necessarily pay attention to what's going on in the West Coast or out in the desert in the Southwest. And I don't know, man. I'm just a fan of Barry Odom and how he gets his team to play up. I like how he gets his team prepared. I like the physicality. And it's cool to see a team like UNLV, who really hadn't been relevant in football since Randall Cunningham back in the 80s. It's cool to see them come off a 10-win season last year, and then turn around this year and start out with 2 pretty good wins against Power 4 conference teams in Houston and then Kansas. Definitely a momentum swinger. That Matthew Sluka, is it how you say his name? Is it Sluka?
Sluka, something like that.
Mm-hmm. That 18-play, 75-yard touchdown drive, they eat 9 minutes up off that clock. That was impressive, man. Like, really, really impressive stuff. And I mean, you say what you want to about them, but for a program their size and really not be relevant in a long time, to beat Houston and a ranked Kansas in the first 3 weeks is impressive football. And this is a guy that me and you have been hyping that will possibly be coaching in the big league real soon. Even though I'd like to see him stay and build it. But the Pac-2, which is about to be the Pac half dozen or whatever they're going to be, they're recruiting. They're trying to get UNLV in there, and I think that's a great pickup. And that might get Barry Odom to stay. Yeah. Once you get him in a bigger conference like that. So basically what I'm saying, don't sleep on Barry O. I didn't know, there ain't a whole lot to say there, but Nick Saban Jr., what's your thoughts on Barry Odom and UNLV right now?
My thoughts was forget Barry, forget him because he beat my cousin team, and I really was losing. So
I did hate that.
But no, all those sides, I was impressed, man. I like football. Believe me, was I fussing at the Kansas game like they were Alabama Friday? Yes, I was. But it's also impressive to see when they get on what they was doing on the football field. I'm like, I want my cousin to win, but I'm impressed with that style of football from those schools, man. And this is not their first year. This is not they did it. They was doing it last year. They was doing good stuff last year. And you see this UNLV team up under this coach. They coming up. Man. So that quarterback. Oh man, I want to see him I want to see him be able to get his pass under control. Yep. And I'm not saying become an elite passer, but become a good enough passer where you keeping these teams honest. Because when you get that down pass, sucker, whatever your name is, you gonna be crazy good, bro.
Yeah.
But I like overall what this UNLV program is. Where they headed to right now. I love it.
Yep, I hear you, man. Rise up.
I wasn't really deep into UNLV until you guys start. I'm listening to you guys talking about. So I, when I watched the game Monday, and I was very impressed with him, man. I'm an underdog guy. I've always been like an underdog, except when it comes to Alabama. But anybody else, I'm an underdog guy. I always kind of root for the underdog, and I love seeing small programs or programs that is not, historically known for being this or having a great team, a squad, come up and play some good ball. Listen, like we all say, we are football fans first, college football fans first. So if there's some good football being played, I'm interested, and I'm all for it. So hats off to those UNLV running rebels, and hopefully they can keep building upon the program. But I think, Van, that somebody gonna come snatch him up, bro. Yep. And
I agree.
It's gonna be hard. You can't blame him. No, you can't. Unless he's just content where he is. It's all about him. If he's like, listen, I done did the big school before and whatever. I'm happy here. The kids are more whatever, and he just wants to be there. But if he has any urges to get back in, the big time, he gone, bro.
Yep.
Because
I'm gonna try to run.
My bad.
I
was about to say.
No, go ahead.
If I was at a school like if I was at a school like that, man, it's so many elite dogs in this high school rankings that get overlooked. But I'm gonna say so many good football players that get overlooked by them elite guys and by these guys that have size. Like size, not so much as talent, but size that, man, I'm going to all them high school, or I'm going to all these high schools that, man, the man a dog, man, I'm finna go get him, and he gonna help build this program. And my program will be about also getting those guys, developing them, and being the spokesperson for them to get picked up to a Division I school. That's how I want to be a recruit, because they're gonna know me for getting those type of guys, developing them, and being the voice of them going to a bigger school. That's how I will keep my program rolling. Because I'm getting killers.
We've seen Utah and Boise State do it for years.
Yeah.
They catch the guys fall through the cracks, man. Utah has built a winning program off of 3- and 4-star players for a long time now. But I'll run through these real quick because I know everybody's dying to hear us talk about the Georgia-Kentucky game.
Yes.
So let me run through these real quick. All right, number 2 on my best things I've seen in college football week 3. I know I'm a homer, but I don't care. Damn right, I'm a Bama fan. Jalen Milroe.
Damn right.
Man, what he's doing right now, if you go back to last year, he's got 4 games with 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and at least 250 total yards. That's twice as many as any quarterback in college football right now. In fact, there's only been 3 quarterbacks in the playoff era that's had 4 games of that kind of stature. You're looking at J.T. Barrett, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. All right, so that's pretty good company for Jalen Milroe to be considered, to be able to match numbers with. And when you look at Lamar Jackson, I remember guys talking about how he wasn't a great quarterback. He couldn't pass the ball. He couldn't do this and that, but he could win a Heisman and make Louisville real relevant for a while. And then he went to my Baltimore Ravens and took us to the next level, and we're right there on the cusp of going to the Super Bowl. So an athlete.
Hey, man, it froze up on us.
Oh, I thought it was
on us. Man. He froze up. But anyway, I'll finish this. There you go.
He back.
Man, when I leave, come together like butt cheeks, but but no, man. I mean, what else can be said? Milroe's, man, he's been so important to this team in the locker room, off the field, on the field, as a representation. Man, you're right, Keith Hope. It's that Boost Mobile. It gets you every time, man. But man, I mean, they just not. You can't say enough about the guy, and I just wanted to highlight him again. I know y'all's thoughts on him as well, but let's go around the room real quick. Some of the stats I just dropped. What's your thoughts on him, except you?
Man, he killing it right now. Like he got a lot of critics right now, but Hannibal talk about how he's one of the best right now. He's one of the best right now. It might not look the way you want it to look, but I'm telling you right now, he is being used to his strengths.
Right.
Coach Kellen DeBoer is doing the things that he's comfortable with, and you can tell it. You can tell it with this play this year. He looks more loose. He stays poised. He never gets rattled. Probably stressful situations on the offensive side of the ball at times. He keeps it together. He shows the composure, and I'm loving Milroe right now. Milroe for Heisman.
I'm with you. Listen, man, and we got to realize the man is running the plays that are called. This is that simple. He's running what's called, and I agree with Nick there to his strengths. Do I believe he can do more? Of course, I believe he can do more. I believe he's better passing last year, and he put the team on his back, man. I mean, when you have that kind of athlete, if he can take off running, he can pass the ball. You don't know which way to guard him. Really, it's kind of hard to pick your poison. Am I going to stay with my man, or am I going to check down on Miro because I know he's a threat to take off running? So I'm happy with it. So I love that one, man. All
right, my number one, and this, man, this hurts me. Y'all know I hate Tennessee. If you got any Alabama merchandise in your house, you hate Tennessee.
Damn right.
But I'm not blind, and I believe in giving people the flowers when they're due. And I'm not crowning Tennessee as a national champion by no means. And we're going to learn more about them as they get into the meat of their schedule. But one thing I did want to highlight, and that was my number one things I've seen, was Tennessee's run game. Everybody's quick to talk about Nico and their passing game. But what we really should be talking about right now, and he deserves all the credit he gets. He's a great young quarterback.
Yeah.
Fantastic talent. He's going to be good for years to come. But their run game's ridiculous right now. And I don't think enough people are talking about it. They have yet to play a game. And I know their schedule has been super tough. But who has at this point? I mean, realistically, Georgia ain't played no world beaters yet. Alabama ain't played no world beaters yet. I mean, realistically, I'm just trying to put it out there because Tennessee has not had a game yet where they've run for less than 249 yards. That's impressive. I don't care who you play. I don't
That's
care who
crazy.
you play. It's hard. It's hard to keep pounding the rock and not get stopped. Watching Tennessee's like playing pinball right now. Every time you hit that paddle, you hear a button go off and the score's changed. It's crazy, man. And their defense is playing pretty well. I still have questions about their secondary, but their defensive line's nasty. Tennessee has improved a lot from last year. And got to give them their due. That SEC top heaviness, we got another team that's sitting right here trying to join with Alabama, Georgia right now. And I just wanted to highlight how good their running game has actually been, because all it gets really talked about is the passing game. So what's your thoughts, Rise Up? How you feeling about it?
Like I said earlier in the show, man, Tennessee, like you just said, haven't played, anybody of significance. So they got Oklahoma coming up, I think, this weekend. But they play some cupcakes, but they beat the cupcakes like they supposed to beat the cupcakes. They beat them good fashion, with no questions, no doubt.
That's all you can do.
Listen, brother, I can't be mad at them about it. I have to take my hats off to them and give credit where credit is due. I'm like you. I'm not saying that they're going to win the national championship or they're going to do whatever. But for right now, the eye test, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're displaying their dominance. Like I was talking about, we were talking earlier, I was talking about opening up the playbook. I'm like, they got their playbook open. And, they got it open, wide open. So, and they're doing what they need to do. And listen, we got to play them. We got to go to Rocky Top.
Tell me about
it. So, at first I was like, yeah, we're going to go to Rocky Top. But now I'm like, okay, we got to go to Rocky Top. This is not going to be it's not going to be an easy win for us, in my opinion. No. This is just my humble opinion. We got to come with our A game because they're coming with their A game. Okay? And I'm going to say one thing. Nick Jr. pointed out earlier. There's a couple of times our defense, our backs were burnt by some receivers. If that had been Nico, I can't pronounce his last name, and I'm not going to even try to mess it
Me either.
But if that had been him, that would have been it would have been at least 4 or 5 touchdowns between 2 games that Nico would have burned us. So we got to get that cleaned up before we go to Rocky Top, y'all. We can laugh and talk about them all we want to, but it is what it is.
Yep. And before I go to you, Nick Saban Jr., don't feel bad. Me and Nico have to stay on first name terms as well, because I can't say the damn last name, and I ain't even gonna try. I ain't gonna disrespect him like that. So, Nick Saban Jr., go ahead. What are you seeing out of Tennessee's run game right now that you think isn't getting talked about?
Reason why I ain't getting talked about because they ain't so big on Nico, and rightfully so. But again, like I say, I love to see teams when you can run the ball and don't go away from it. That shows that you're displaying confidence in your offensive line and that y'all will get it done. Nico and the Tennessee offense, they looking real good right now. And like you were saying about Alabama defense, we gotta clean it up, because if we come up there and they undefeated, we already know the whole state of Tennessee is gonna be shut down just to try to watch, just so they can watch Alabama possibly lose, like try to lose. That's how it is in Tennessee. They shut everything down. And when they on a high like that, we seen the other year when they was on a high like that, how the atmosphere was. But we're going to see what Tennessee got. And right now, I am not no Tennessee fan. And I just can't lie about Tennessee football right now. It's looking good. Like I said, Let's be for real. Ain't nobody just played no goddamn hell of a schedule right now. That's just honest God truth. But what they doing to the opponents in front of them right now is freaking crazy. And it seems like soon you said Tennessee fan, my man Ken came running when you said Tennessee, boy.
Speak of the devil, and he will appear, Yeah. Showed up. Nah, shout out to Ken. He good dude, man.
Well, I said something too. I think that Jeff Stapleton had asked me, he said, is that the same thing that Tennessee said last year with Joe at the QB? Joe ain't Nico, Jeff Stapleton.
No.
Joe can't hold that man jockstrap.
No. Hey, Joe Milton's a great athlete.
Right. Nico is better than the boy they had when we lost against. What's up? I can't remember his name. What's the guy's name?
Yeah, I know you talking about that came from Michigan.
Yeah,
yeah.
Everybody talking about his age, but Nico is better than that guy. So
yeah,
listen, Joe Milton is I'm not knocking him. He's a great athlete, but Nico is on a whole hooker.
Yeah, hooker. Yeah. Thanks, Jim.
Nico's on a whole different level, Jeff Stapleton. A whole different level, bro. I'm telling you, you better go watch them games. That guy put that money where the ball where it's supposed to be.
Yep.
Milton overthrow you a couple times or miss some throws. Not this guy. I'm just being honest about it, bro.
B. Jamin said something in the chat, made me laugh. He said, at least Nico got an easy name like Tua did. I agree. That's why I go by my middle name, Van, because I was a dumb kid and I had like a 7-letter first name and I knew I couldn't spell it. So I just went by that 3-letter name. So I ain't knocking that at all. But let's get to the real. That was my top 5. That was my 5 good, 5 bad things for week 3. If y'all liked it, let us know in the chat. We'll try to keep doing it. If you didn't like it, we'll scrap it. But I
like it. I'm telling you right now, I like it. I like that crowd.
Yeah, I love it. That was dope.
I like anything that create a conversation because there's more than just what's going on in the state of Alabama. Sometimes it's good to talk about everybody. So now let me hand it back to you, NSJ. Let us talk about what everybody waiting on talking about.
We're gonna talk about this Georgia Kentucky game. Win by 1 point. I would just say, I'm saying, and I'm not saying that nothing toward Georgia. This Kentucky came out to play. Kentucky defense was on a whole nother level last night. And if you know football, it's just like that sometimes. We're getting thumbs up, man. We're getting good stuff. It's just like that sometimes. Sometimes teams just have your number. And when it comes to Kentucky and Georgia, sometimes Georgia fans, this is one thing to look at. Yes, I know y'all probably feel a certain type of way about last night, but the last time Kentucky played y'all close, y'all won a national championship. Jeff, last time Kentucky played Georgia close, they won a national championship. Just saying. They beat Alabama in the national championship.
Yeah.
We can say whatever we want to say about the game, but they won the national championship. So, do I think last night was what Georgia is? No. I just think they came because Kentucky ain't been looking promising. But last night they came with a different type of physicality last night, and they showed it. They outrushed Georgia. Georgia only ran for 102 yards. That's not like Georgia. Versus Kentucky ran for 170 yards last night. That was behind the rock. Georgia didn't seem like they wasn't making the tackles last night. Eric Walford, Coach Walford had that offensive line on the whole other level last night.
Yep.
He had that offensive line on the whole other level last night. 226 total yards from Georgia. That doesn't sound like a Georgia team. Georgia had 9 penalties last night also for 85 yards. Georgia also punted the ball 6 times. No, Georgia only ran a total of 54 plays. You know what I'm saying? You know what, Georgia, where they run the ball, they ran more plays than that. So it's a lot last night. Last night is just one of those things that happened. Kentucky came out and played ball last night. They won. They was I rooting for Kentucky to pull off the upset? Yes, I was. I'm not gonna lie about that. But at the same time, this is what makes this game between Alabama and Georgia coming up is gonna make it another classic game because as Alabama fans, Alabama coaching staff, Alabama players, we all feel like that Alabama got something to work on. As of last night, George, Kirby Smart, and their coaching staff, them players, they feel like they got something to work on. So on the 28th, it's gonna make for another classic game. Watch what I tell y'all. What you want to tell y'all? But how y'all feel about the game? Van, I'm gonna start with you.
Man, I want to kind of tell Georgia fans because, man, last night I was reading some of the comments in KB's chat room. That's Kangaroo Black for y'all. If you don't subscribe to him, you should. It's one of the most entertaining channels on YouTube. Man, some of y'all done had shot y'all done shot Uga like it was Old Yeller and fired the coach. Yeah, some of y'all got to calm down a little bit, man. Ain't no team never not struggle sometimes. Like Alabama, I seen it in the chat. There's something about South Florida when we play in them the last 2 years. We know we're the superior team, but they bring a fight to us, and there's something about how they match up with us that just doesn't allow us to play our game for 4 quarters. If you go back and watch Kentucky and Georgia, they play close every year, nearly since Kirby's been at Georgia. I mean, nearly every time that they played since Kirby's been there, they've been close. Sometimes teams just got you numbered, but Georgia always wins the game. And the biggest blowout I remember seeing was like 2018 when Kentucky went 10-3 that year. It was the breaks off of them when they played. But then they go 7-6 last year and play them close. It's just one of them games, man. Sometimes teams just match up well against you. But we can't sit here as Alabama fans, and as much as we want to dog Georgia, because they'll get upside our head when we play close to South Florida, stuff like that. But I have to be realistic, too. We know what kind of talent Georgia has. They're better than what that score indicated. I'm not going to make excuses for them and say they sandbagged or they didn't. You know, they fought like hell because Kentucky had every opportunity to win that game. They say Kirby Mark stupid close friend. But, you know, that's just one of them games for them. And Georgia's got hellacious talent. They got hellacious coaching, and they're near the top every year for a reason. So one game a season don't make, but you still come out with a W when it matters. And, you know, sometimes that tenacity and ability to push through makes you better going forward. We've seen it from us in South Florida 2 years in a row. So I wouldn't ring the bell just yet, y'all.
But
yes.
to be you on point with it,
I want to slide one more thing in, and I'm sorry. I do wonder sometimes about Beck's ability to get the ball down the field on deep plays. In his career, I haven't been overly impressed with his deep ball. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I know he's a first-round quarterback. I ain't denying that. Great quarterback. But I do wonder sometimes when they get in a situation and need bailed out on the deep ball, they don't always seem to be able to get to that. Their offensive line sometimes looks like they're getting beat. Clemson, for at least a half, did pretty well dominating that offensive line. Kentucky dominated their offensive line last night. So, you know, it's things like that you can look at to see if they get better. I think they will. But even their D-line got pushed around a little bit by Kentucky. Yeah. Kentucky was able to run the ball pretty well. So it's things like that to look at.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Listen, Georgia's Georgia. I told you, Georgia kind of mirrors Alabama. People always say, you know, Georgia try to do everything Alabama does, or whatever the case may be, you know. And Kirby was taught by Saban, you know. And if they are a mirror of us, then like I said earlier, they kind of play down to certain teams. And I won't say playing down. It's like Auburn. Like go back last year when New Mexico State came in to Voodoo Stadium down there and beat Auburn, you know, and they beat Auburn. And then we playing Auburn next. And like, oh man, this is Alabama fan. We gonna kill Auburn, man. Y'all let New Mexico State beat y'all this, and we all up in our feelings and all this. Like and 4th and 31. It took 4th and 31 for us to beat them. Auburn had our number. Even when they had a worse year, they could be having. We could have the best year we could be having. You never count that game out, man. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. They play us tight and tough. Well, it shouldn't be that way. They shouldn't. We should go down there and blow Auburn a whole new asshole for real. But it's just, but you know, they have our number. They prepared for us. They did this. Same thing with Kentucky and Georgia. You know, Georgia didn't lay down or whatever, or hold anything off. They just had it was off night for them. Kentucky came to play, and they had all the answers. But like you said, at the end, it was W in the column. That's all that matters. and it's on to the next. They're preparing for us. We got to prepare for them. We got to be ready. So
that's facts, man. That's facts. Like another thing I realized, Kentucky had 23 first downs last night. Georgia only had 12. Third down efficiency for Georgia was 5 for 13. Kentucky went 9 for 16. Like those things. And
hey, man, hold up. DP said pause. I guess I'm a statement. You said Paul Granddad. Go ahead, Dick, man.
No, but I was just bringing up that point. But going to Georgia not finna go away from the run. Georgia not finna go away from the run. But this was the point I wanted to make. You brought up Carson Beck. Been having basically not looking too good, getting the ball upfield. Mm-hmm. I said before the season, this is my honest opinion. I was saying that I don't think we see Carson Beck gets too much better. And I was telling that Georgia fans at work, and they just thought I was dissing him. I said the type of season he had, I said I see him somewhat being the same quarterback as last year. I said, but look what he did last year. I said, that was actually good enough to go to a national championship. They just lost to Alabama. I said, that's not knocking Carson Beck. I just don't think – I think we have really seen the ceiling of Carson Beck. That's all I'm saying. Like you said, Beck missing his tight end and Ladd. That's a big thing. You know what I'm saying? They got names, but those names ain't really been proven as much.
You don't just replace a Brock Bowers overnight, man.
No. I seen somebody say something. I think it was Sixo said something about we gotta basically work on that run or something. He said something like that, and I'm gonna tell you that's the same. That's the kind of the thing that concerns me about the 4-2-5. And I was telling Rise Up how I felt about 4-2-5. I like it. If we're playing a Texas team, a team that finna just slang it, I'm not really concerned about that.
Right.
But we play a team that gonna lean on the run because this 4-2-5. You need the defense and run stoppers on that D-line to be able to take on 2 blocks at a time and interfere with that. And also 4-2-5 it's a chasing defense. It's a defense where you chase. So a lot of times you have your back towards the defenders a lot of times because you're chasing. And that's one of those things where you can see a Carson Beck, he breaks out a run or just the running back getting extra yardage if you're not getting disruption in their own run lanes. As well on the offense, on the defensive line. But, man, Kentucky just did things last night to just, you know what I'm saying, they just made the game tougher than what most of us expected. And when we say this, I don't really think the coaches go in there with the mindset, this is an easy game, this is Kentucky. The coaches go in there knowing that this is going to be a hard-fought game because we always play these games. They always are hard-fought games. And Kentucky just did good things last night, man. That's all. They did good things last night, man.
I agree.
So, moving on from that game, let's talk about any of y'all got anything to do?
Not at the moment.
LSU, South Carolina.
Oh.
Listen, I was rooting for South Carolina. I was rooting for South Carolina, man. They had the game in the bag. I'm like, man, they up 17-0. You know, that big quarterback was rumbling and rolling all over them cats, man. And unless you find a way to come back and win that then. And I was disappointed. I ain't gonna lie, I was disappointed because I wanted South Carolina to win. I think I texted you guys. I think I texted you. I was like, hey, man, we're gonna have to watch this quarterback because this is a big boy and he running. And he's running. And I don't want to get in front of him when he coming downhill, you know. Kind of remind me of KJ Jefferson, you know, the sideline when he was running. I didn't realize he was that big and had the speed he did. But, you know, I was disappointed at, you know, the outcome of the game. I give LSU their credit for finding a way to fight back and win on the road, you know, because those fans were hyped, man. They were, you know, in I can't. What's the name of South Carolina Stadium? Bryce, something.
I'm not sure.
I think it was
I
some
can't remember
Bryce.
because I've been pissed at them. I've been pissed at them ever since we lost to them in 2010, and I felt like we shouldn't have. So I tried to quit learning about South Carolina.
But yeah, so
Jeff
LSU
Garcia,
came back,
right.
fought a hard uphill battle, and they came back and won the game. So I have to take my hats off to them. But that I'm just still looking at LSU sideways right now, though. I'm like, man, they're still not the team. William Bryce, I know it had some with Bryce in it. They're just not the team that they have been in the past year. So, but it ended up being a good game when it was all said and done.
And this rushing performance that South Carolina put on yesterday is like, how? That man, Rocket Sanders had 19 carries for 143 yards yesterday, 2 touchdowns. Then the quarterback had 10 carries for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. They ran the freaking ball. But LSU just continue to chop wood. Like, man, I'm like, where can you ask for? What can you ask for, man?
Right.
Yeah.
South Carolina should have won that game yesterday. I'm gonna say though.
Yes, they
and
should
even when the QB1 went out, Robert Ashford came in from the Auburn.
From Auburn.
He played some good ball. He came in and played a solid game. But LSU they fought back, man. So hats off to him.
Man, Robert Ashford should have. I know KJ Jefferson there now, but he should have been the first thing smoking to go play with Coach Gus. He should have been the first thing smoking to go play for Gus, man.
Yep.
He fit right perfect for Gus' system.
Yep.
I think so too.
I don't know. Who else played yesterday?
I'm gonna say one more thing about that game. LSU, if you'll go back and look at the USC game, the Nicholls State game, and now this, they're giving up some rushing yards, man. Yeah, they're giving up rushing yards, and that may be in our favor, because I try to look at it from that perspective. You gotta give them credit. You do. You really got to give them credit, man. They stayed in that ball game. They stayed with USC. They're fighters. They're definitely a fighting team. They ain't laying down for nobody. They may not win the game, but they seem like they're going out there and giving everybody what they got. So, our hats off to them. Can't stand them either, but my hats off to
them. Right. Any other games you want to talk about, Nick?
I was gonna talk about the Texas game, but we basically talked about that quarterback room. That was enough talking about that for me, because that's basically a big highlight of that game. We talked about Arkansas State, Michigan, because this is why I like that thing you did, man, because we end up talking about some of these games, what I'm saying, low key.
Yeah, because some of them you won't really cover because they wouldn't go by the score and you just look at it and you go, okay, Michigan won, they should have won. But there's things that happen during the game, that can possibly tell you a story down the road of what may happen to this team. So, yeah, and like B. Jamie said, Memphis looked good. I'm against Florida State yesterday. Whew, I know we covered Florida State already, but man.
You talk about a Memphis team that possibly can get one of those playoff spots, man.
2 different writers on the ESPN actually had them possibly in that 12 playoff spots. And I know it's just for entertainment and discussion points, but you can't rule it out, no.
Right.
But let's talk about this Missouri-Boston College. This is the last one I want to talk about. And I basically just want to break out the point. Van, you've been saying that Missouri does not look impressive, bro. They won, but it's not looking impressive.
There's something about it's kind of what I said about Carson Beck. And some of Carson Beck's, he had a bad game. And every quarterback's had a bad game.
Yeah.
But from everything I'm seeing from Missouri right now, and even going back into last year, and they had a great year last year, if they get in a situation where they need a long yardage, the quarterback just don't seem to be able to make that connection with the receivers. And they've got talent in that receiving room.
Yeah.
In fact, they're supposed to have one of the most talented wide receivers in the country. And I can't remember the young man's name, and that's irrelevant. But I can't remember, something the third, I think was his name, but
regardless.
Yes. But, you know, it's easy to flip through when you don't watch a game and just see the final score and go, okay. But Boston College was in control of this ball game for about half. Some bad play calls by Missouri, some missed opportunities, some turnovers. And Boston College just couldn't keep capitalizing, because if they would have scored on every missed opportunity Missouri had, it'd been a different ball game. It had a different outcome. I hate to give Bill O'Brien too much credit, but I think he's got a Boston College team in his first year there that's really putting up a fight with people. So my hat's off to him for
that. Yeah. Hey man,
go ahead, my bad.
Don't Luther Burden sound like a old shade tree mechanic smoking on some cool Filter King.
Go on, let Luther Burden know about them cars now. He know about them cars. And he don't charge you much either. He don't try to rip you off.
That's who taught me how to change my alternator, man.
Now he gonna have your car about 3 days, but when you get it back, it's gonna be right.
Look, he over there working over some doggone injectors with the cigarette hanging off his lip.
Way down here and talk with it. And you just watch it move.
He's the kind of guy that all the cracks in his hand all the way black. You know?
Always black.
Always black, bro.
$15. You're right, Brittany. $15 oil change and a bill.
Shit, where's he at right now? I come
in
see
the
him
bill.
today.
$15 in the bill. That's all you need, a big bill.
Hey, you want pass blue ribbon? Give him a pass blue ribbon and $15.
That's it. You in the game.
You get your whole doggone transmission out.
Man, I think I'm related to him.
In the front yard.
He went ahead and did some other little stuff for you just because. Just because.
And he always smelled like some used motor oil.
Even on Sunday. Why you best fix the car?
Why you smell like burnt transmission oil, bro?
For real, boy.
Oh man.
But when you look at the Missouri, you be like, they dominated Boston College in total yards, passing yards, rushing yards, but the game ended up being 27-21. That Boston College quarterback ain't no bad quarterback, bro.
No,
he ain't no bad quarterback, man. He pretty solid, bro. Yeah. I will say they got a touchdown with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter that brought it a little bit closer, but it was just a touchdown to get to that point, though. So I'm expecting to see more out of Missouri with the hype that they had coming into the season. And I'm gonna tell you right now, a piece that I see that's missing. Do you see me? You hear me, Rise Up?
Yeah, I hear.
A piece that I feel like that's missing is that guy Cody Schrader from last season.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That guy Cody Schrader from last. That boy ran that ball. He ran that ball. He pounded that rock. And when you got somebody that can run the ball, that's reliable run the ball, that makes the offense click. That makes your job a whole lot easier as a team.
Right.
Yeah.
I was looking at them, Boston had them beat, man. Boston was wearing them out in, the first half of the game. And Missouri was able to fight their way back. But I'm not impressed with them either, man. They're not there. KB called them a one-off, Everybody was giving them high praise, high rankings or whatever. KB called them a one-off. So I'm not impressed with them, man, And to be honest with you, after this season, I think they're going to kind of drop back down off in the mediocrity.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Once cooked
up. By the way, I'm gonna need Luther Burton to come on by here and fix my Wi-Fi. Dropping out quick.
And he do that too. He fixed washing machines. He know how to fix your washing machines and everything.
Exactly. He's a plumber. He's an electrician.
Everything.
That's that dude used to give you that black cable box back in the day. Get all them good channels too.
And I remember that, but hey, it's so funny because what are you guys at now? Back in the day, man, we used to know somebody that did everything, and you can't find none of these people now. What?
Dude, now everything is digital. So, like, my kid, the power here went out. Like we had a storm or whatever, and the power went out, and everything popped back up. The internet and everything popped back up, but the cable won't pop back up. So we call on. I have Comcast, Xfinity, and we're on the phone with them. They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna send a signal to your box." They ain't gotta come out here. They do it from the. They doing that from wherever. So yeah, the good old cable man. Yeah,
Shit,
them
man.
days gone, bro.
I remember back in the day when I'd have to go outside and turn the antenna and then get screamed at when I didn't get it precisely right. I remember them days. You looking outside, you see lightning striking in the neighborhood. You out there trying to turn a big metal pole, and you thinking, man, I don't know about all this shit, man. But yeah, now you can just call it in, they fix it. I don't understand it.
That's crazy. You about to see
Over my pay grade.
You about to do what?
Yeah, I'm about to see you here.
What? When is it coming to bed? No, I'm sitting there now.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Baby, come get the phone. These folks talking crazy. These folks talking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, man, I'm going to say week 3 is the same week of football. I don't know how I really feel about next week of football. It seems like every time Alabama don't play, I feel like football ain't really hitting up on them. But I'm pretty sure there's some decent stuff in there for next week, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll get there when we get there. But as of right now, I feel like Bama ain't playing, Georgia ain't playing. I'm like, football ain't nothing this week.
Yeah, man. Right now will be the time to go buy stock in Lowe's and Home Depot because next week will be the only time you get Georgia or Alabama husbands to go work on anything.
Go anything. Hey, and it's so funny because I'm already slick deep in my mind. Like, let me go on playing this weekend and do something. Yep. I don't even really care if I watch football like that.
Well, get out the way what you need to get out the way.
Yep.
So you got USC and Michigan play.
Whatever.
Oh, Tennessee, Oklahoma. Now, that's the game I'm going to be looking at. Tennessee, Oklahoma.
Yeah, most definitely.
No.
Georgia,
are we still gonna do a preview show this week talking about some of the teams coming up?
Oh, most definitely. We days okay. Hey, I'm talking that crap, but I like football.
Oh yeah, I feel you. I'm
talking that crap, but I like football.
I might be standing on the ladder watching it on my phone, but I'm gonna be watching
it. Yeah, if anything turns out, I'll let you know. But overall, I like football for real. I'm just talking.
Right.
But man, I appreciate the opportunity. Go ahead.
You know what's been quiet and we ain't said much about?
Who?
Ohio State.
Yeah, it's been weird, man. They got a damn higher roster than They got a higher roster than the Yankees, and we ain't said shit about them in 2 weeks.
No, I mean, you don't hear about them. You hear about Texas. You hear about Tennessee. Of course, you're going to hear about Alabama. You hear about Georgia. You hear about – I hear about Michigan. But I ain't really hear nobody talk about SC.
I see this is my thing about Ohio State. Did they play yesterday? I don't know if they played yesterday.
I don't know.
But regardless, they played Marshall this week. Like, this is my thing about this conference. I don't care because it has got more interesting this season because who they got? Oregon in that conference now? Somebody?
USC.
Yeah, but now you got Washington. Somebody. But before then, it was just Oklahoma. And not Oklahoma. It was just Michigan and Ohio State. And
Penn State that we know is going to lose them to.
Yeah, I was
you do damn well.
I was going to do a long pause when I say Penn State. I don't respect Penn State no more, man. Forget them, bro. No.
So that was it. We was talking about ACC earlier. We might well throw the Big Ten in there. I mean, they didn't put in Oregon and stuff, but their conference sucked too,
Yep. They top heavy just like everybody else. I mean, you see Mississippi State gonna swoop in real quick, pay $1.2 million to Toledo, and they get the break speed off of them.
Right.
And I'm like, man, y'all, you'd been better off saving your money. You got bottom feeders in every conference, but it seemed like the ACC really, it's like 1-2 teams where, the SEC right now, it's hard to say because Tennessee looks good, Georgia looks good, Alabama's getting better, Ole Miss is out there scoring points in bunches. There's a lot of good football still being played in the SEC. I left Texas off the map. They may be the best team in the country. So, I mean, we 5-6 deep in the SEC. The Big Ten, it's like, all right, Michigan's fell off a little bit. Mm-hmm. Ohio State should be undefeated based on the amount of money they're paying out. But what past that? Because Oregon is slowly getting better, but they didn't come out of the gate very hot. So it's hard to say. We might find out that USC's better than they've been in a long time. It's going to be fun to see.
Yeah.
One last thing before we get out of here. The reforming of the Pac-12. What do you guys think about that?
Okay. I go. Now, for those teams that are getting into it, I like it for them. I love it for them. But the reason why I like those teams so much because of where they came from. Right. I'm not going to give two freaking flying flips about y'all trying to get it. Well, take that back. I still like those schools, but they're not going to be relevant. They should. One of y'all asked the question, I think it was Drew Rizzo, are they going to be included? Are they going to try to make it a Power 5 again? They need to leave that crap where that Power 4, and they're just going to be the Pac-12.
So what conference would they be part of? Would they be part of like the group of, so they be a group of 6 now or whatever?
They need to be their own conference, the independent conference. And you can take it all the day. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I rarely see them teams actually pushing for a player. I don't know, man.
Colorado State, Boise, we know them people ain't gonna be able to handle, play against them.
Yeah, this ain't Boise State from 2006,
Exactly.
But
I like it for the San Diego's, but I like it for those teams. The Fresno, I like that for them because that will help their recruiting. You know what I'm saying? It will help them it help their recruiting because they're going to be considered in this thing, whatever. Now I don't know what they're going to be, but whatever.
I don't know if the league, if their conference is still bad, then what? It still be.
Oh, I just thought about something. Florida State wouldn't leave so bad they can go play for them.
Yeah,
go to the Pac.
That kept being a rumor that Auburn wanted to leave and join the Big 12, and I'm like, man, here's your opportunity right here. Auburn can go play in the Pac half dozen, and they might be a middle of the conference team then instead of a bottom feeder.
I hadn't heard that one for real.
Yeah, there was a rumor circulating back a few months ago that there had been some real discussions. I can't confirm or deny, but
I want to respect Auburn if they would ever do some crap like that. Man, you are an SEC team, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Right. You and Georgia are the true rivals, to be honest with you. You and Georgia are the rivals for you in Alabama, so know.
And they're Georgia fans when their team sucks. So
yeah, they damn sure is.
They are. They jump in the bushes real quick, change the hat.
That's all crazy, boy. That's why all those Georgia fans came out of nowhere all of a sudden. They really Auburn fans.
Hey, remember the text I was sending out earlier between my cousin, the Tennessee fan and the Auburn fan?
Yeah.
Here's the funny part about that, and I didn't say. When Tennessee is playing Alabama, the Auburn fan become a Tennessee fan. He get on the Tennessee bandwagon, and when Auburn is playing Alabama, she joined the Auburn time. I said, well, both of y'all with that ugly ass orange, so I can't tell the difference. Make a difference to me. But yeah, they hate each other right now. But when Auburn played Alabama, the Tennessee fan is the Auburn fan, and when Tennessee played Alabama, the Auburn fan is the Tennessee fan. Crazy.
I can't even knock it, man. I would root for 1980s communist Russia against Auburn. I'll tell you right now. I would root for the I can't root for Auburn. I ain't never done it. I can't do it. There was a situation one year where they were like, if Auburn beats so and so and then we win, it'll put. I was like, I don't give a damn. We don't deserve to be in the conversation if we can't get it done on our own. I can't root for Auburn. No, I ain't gonna do it.
What Tupac said, it's just me against the world.
Yes, it was.
Against the world. Just me against the world, baby.
Yeah, they were singing "Dear Mama" after they lost the cow.
Hey man, what the score was yesterday? It was like 7. The score was close at halftime. They pulled away, but I was like, man, if y'all do it again this year, bro, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do to y'all, man. Yep, but man, I appreciate y'all for coming on, man. Finna go get some dinner.
Oh, yeah, man.
Finna go fry some fish and onion rings, man. Finna eat good.
That sounds good.
Yeah. But I appreciate all y'all for tuning in, man. We had got up 25 in here right now. Currently, we got up like 30 at one point. So I appreciate y'all. I always appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. I gotta figure out this cap cut stuff. I'm working on some graphics and stuff. I gotta learn it, and then I'm gonna try to work out some graphics for it. I like this little meetup because it feels like three brothers just sitting on the porch talking jokes.
Right.
I don't consider myself as no football expert, believe me, by a long
God,
time.
no.
I just like to talk about football.
Hey, I quote Eazy-E all the time. Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said shit. I just be out here talking, man. I don't know nothing about nothing.
Right.
When the cops pull up, I don't know nothing, and when I'm talking, I don't know nothing. So
right. But man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate everybody in the chat for tuning in. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful Saturday evening, and let's go on about our day. Like up. Let's rest up. Let's get healthy. Healthy. Quay Russo, Malachi Moore, let's get right and come back, get ready for the 28th. The Clash of the Titans is that day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's all crazy because no matter what happens, we all gonna talk like we just if Georgia beat us, they're gonna act like they've been beating the brakes off us. And if we win, we just go on as normal because it always happens anyway.
It's normal.
Said the quiet part out loud.
Keith Hawk, appreciate you, but man, y'all let's like up, roll tide, and I will see y'all on the flip side.
Roll tide,
y'all.
So what we do is important, but how we do what we do becomes more and more important, and that's for every guy here. We got to do it better. Our goal is to have the kind of team that nobody wants to play. And that means that we have to impose our will to dominate the competition.